What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of BKNY Hoops. If you are new to the channel, I am your host, as always, Rashid White. All right. So we're gonna start the show off a little bit different over here, man. Going to some regular general NBA news here. We're gonna get into some Brooklyn Nets stuff in about 5 or 6 minutes, man. Some new developments going on in terms of the actual draft picks. But all right, so let's get into it. You guys see the thumbnail there, man. Shut the fuck up, man. And it's really these old guys today that are really for the last 10, I say 12 years, the inside the NBA guys trashing the game, going back into, oh, my generation is this and my generation that. We used to actually hard foul someone when basketball was always meant to be a limited contact sport. Okay. If you want to see tackling and hard fouls, I'll say like physicality, go watch wrestling, right? Go watch boxing and or go watch football, right? If you want to see that. I mean, it's a game of skill, Is there physicality involved? Yes, but it's mainly a skilled game, right? And let's get into this article over here, man. And I'm glad this is actually being said over here. All right, hold on. Let's get into this here. All right, so it's saying, so you have Charles Barkley over here saying, I'm tired of talking about the Lakers and the Warriors. Barkley said earlier this year, a sentiment that he has relayed several times. Barkley has also regularly expressed frustration with the TNT crews that covers West Coast games that finishes at 1 a.m., forcing him to stay in the Atlanta studio to the wee hours in the morning. Well, my man just resigned, okay? And, Jonathan, what's going on, man? I'm going to throw the link up in here in a minute. So now you have FS1 analyst Jason McIntyre believes Barkley and company may have soured the NBA fans with their constant nitpicking of the product that they're supposed to sell and hype. So Colin Cowherd and Jason actually spoke about it this week. Let's hear what they actually have to say.
I'll be watching tonight.
I'm a big NBA guy.
So I'll be watching tonight.
This take probably won't be very popular, but I would argue that inside the NBA, the show that everybody loves, has done more damage to the NBA in the last decade than anything. Forget about this woke and left and right.
Yeah.
Inside the NBA goes on every week and just trashes players, trashes the style of play. Colin, you look at any other show, MLB Network, NFL Network, these shows, our network, we're all positive. We're excited. We're talking about the games. Inside the NBA, they just hammer the players. Charles Barkley's on TV. The Rockets are in the Final Four for that NBA Cup. Oh, the Rockets don't know how to play basketball. They stink. They don't know what they're doing. What are you doing? You're damaging your product on a nightly basis, hammering it. Colin, globally, the NBA is fine. Much bigger sport globally than the NFL. In America, the ratings aren't great.
And exactly, you have these old guys over here talking about the players. Oh, they don't play defense. And yes, they play defense. All right. I've been playing basketball for over 30-something years. I know, and I coach basketball. So I know, actually, I'm getting on one of my players about her defense. Right. I know when somebody's actually playing defense and when someone's not playing defense. All right. They are playing defense. All right. So if you watch, it was the All-Star game a couple of years ago. I actually watched the All-Star game in general, like say the first, second quarters, especially the first, second quarters. You'll see they're not actually playing defense. Guys is getting easy layups, dunks. But go watch a real game, man, and you'll see that they're actually really playing defense. I could show thousands of clips of players playing real defense. They got all defensive teams. What's today? They got better offensive players. Good offense always beats good defense. A good offensive player has always had an advantage over a good defensive player. There's so many different counter moves that you can actually learn to actually really beat good defense. It doesn't have to be generally just an offensive player in general. It could be by ball movement, passing. Let me get some water here. So these guys, they listen. Charles Barkley, I'm sorry. Listen, dude, things evolve. We just have more better offensive players than you did back in your days. Kevin Durant is better than you. Okay, Giannis is better than you. Just get over it. All right, things actually evolve. All right, everything. There's certain things I liked about back in the 90s in terms of the basketball and everything, and just certain things back in the days. My smartphone, as a matter of fact, I mean, the BlackBerry back in its day was one of the most iconic phones. Now it's a dinosaur now compared to my Z Fold 6. All right? Now I'm not going back, trashing the new Z Fold 6 over the damn BlackBerry phone, man. Come on, man. This is nasty work over here, man. Let me get the link in here. Yo, we're back on StreamYard and everything, man. We're back on StreamYard. We're going to get into some Brooklyn Nets stuff, man. But I want to get your takes. There, see? There's not that many people up in here, man. So that's even better. So we can do like a short show tonight. Jonathan, get on up in here, man. Now, let's get into some Brooklyn Nets stuff over here real quick, man. So this over here talks about the latest mock draft, and they have the Nets picking at number 9 over here. This is from SI.com. And again, there's a lot of teams that will be tanking, right? So, and that's why I'm on the record of saying, like, let's not trade the veterans right away, because we don't know if they're going to get a top 1 through 3 pick. If you just gut the whole roster, and you got the roster, and this guy Ben Sarif, you got this and a whole bunch of Keon Johnson type players. Well, then you're bad, right? And then and you're bad for years. And let's say the 26th draft, who says you could top 1 through 5 in that one, man? I mean, everybody's going to be tanking for AJ DeBonster, man. So we don't know. I just say, hey, listen, let's not tear the whole thing down. But let me see. Oh, let me get Jonathan on up in here, man. Yo, Jonathan, man, what's good, man?
Not much, just sleeping. But you woke me up, so here we go.
All right. Let me get your take on the ratings over here. Then let's get into this story with the Brooklyn Nets over here with the Ben Sarif or something like that, the 9th pick. So all these major draft boards are actually saying that the Nets are picking like number 8, number 9, But let's get into the whole ratings thing real fast. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, there's a combination of issues going on. I think, there was a reason why when they made that new deal, right, with Disney and all those other corporations, they wanted the NBA, the TNT show out of there because they didn't want to re-sign those guys. And I think that changed. I think they're still going to have that Segway show in the new deal, but for some reason they didn't want these guys. Maybe they want to update everything. Maybe they want fresh faces. Maybe they want new people that have different perspectives on the game. Maybe not everybody wants to hear what Shaq and Chuck always have to say, because like you said, not everybody agrees with what they say because they come from a previous era of basketball where things were a lot more simplistic than they are now. Now it's I wouldn't say it's like overcomplicated, but there's so much more rules. There's so much different ways of playing on the court. Well, the 3-point shot, let's go to that. I think a reason why ratings are declining so much is a 3-point shot. It's just going through the roof right now. I mean, everybody's trying to shoot threes, and the mid-range game is kind of dying out. I think DeMar DeRozan's a good example. He's mostly a mid-range shooter, and the thing is, the Kings are doing pretty crappy right now because they don't have a lot of good 3-point shooting on their team, and it seems like DeMar DeRozan's style isn't catching up to the new style that's going on right now, which is this 3-point shooting fiasco. So that's one thing I think that's sticking out with the ratings decline. Another thing is the NBA Cup. It seems like they tried to make it better this season, but really didn't go as good as they wanted to. The ticket sales actually went down when the 4 teams that advanced to the finals were all middle market teams. I think the Knicks, they got knocked out by Trae Young and his rolling dice, and OKC knocked out. Houston knocked out the Warriors because of that questionable foul call, right? So, I don't think everybody was jazzed when the main markets don't all go to Vegas. So that went down a little bit there. And the All-Star format, Kevin Durant said it sucks. He says he wants it to go back to East versus West. So there's a lot of upheaval right now, a lot of unhappy people. And the crazy thing is the old era is coming to an end. The KDs, the LeBrons, the Currys, that era is going to end soon. And now you're in a whole new era. How do you market new players? How do you get the markets to all have some type of visibility? I think ESPN's biggest problem is they always focus on Lakers, Celtics, the main market teams, and then you kind of leave everybody off to the side and you barely talk about
Yeah,
them
I don't know
unless
why they do that, man.
yeah.
I don't understand why they keep just focusing. And I get the Lakers, I get it, but there's other great players in this league, man.
Right.
You can hype those guys up too, man. The thing is like it's subliminal, man. They'll just say Lakers, 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 Lakers,
Um,
Lakers, Lakers,
yeah.
Lakers, Lakers,
LeBron, is he going
Lakers.
to retire? Why did he take off a week? Is he going to go with his son Bronny to a different team? I'm like, what? But we're talking about his son. His son is not a professional NBA basketball player yet. He got there because his father's a legend, and they're talking about this kid like he's big news on the team.
No, he was a number 7. He was slated to be picked 17th before he had the cardiac
Yeah.
arrest. So he's not garbage by any means. It's just
No,
that
no, he's got some talent, but the way the NBA was trying to boost him up, it's like, damn, guys, can we focus on what's actually going on with the Lakers? We're giving all this kudos to the kid, and it's like he's still got a long way to go towards becoming an established player in the NBA. So it's like they focus on all the wrong things, it seems, the NBA. But like you said, why can't other teams get recognition? I mean, OKC, for instance, they've been killing it this season. I mean, they rarely talk about them. They talked about them recently because their three-point shooting was horrible against the Bucks. But they're not talking about how well Shea is done in spite of losing Chet Holmgren. The Rockets, I mean, they had Green and Sengun on their show recently. I was like, why is Green there? I mean, Sengun's been killing it, right? But Green has kind of just been like, riding shotgun. I'm like, why is this guy on the show? Like, and the Knicks, like, it's a high and low with them. If they're doing well, they praise them. If they're doing bad, hey, you got to hit the panic button, yada, yada. And the Bucks, if Giannis saying requesting a trade, they really just talk about Giannis and Dame, and that's about it. So yeah, like you wish that other markets would get certain investment. What about Wembanyama? I mean, they were talking about this kid so much last season, BK. Now it's almost like I don't even hear a mention of Wemby on ESPN at all. Like at all.
Exactly.
Like I thought, was this kid supposed to be the next generational guy? Now you hear about AJ DeBosta, and he signed that big shoe deal for like $7 million. He says he wants to go play with Wemby and Paolo. Everybody's giving this kid all the coverage, and now everybody else is kind of going to the wayside. It's like you're trying to look for the best thing always, but you got to balance out what you got. And I think the problem is, besides Luka, besides Anthony Edwards, there's certain stars in this league that aren't getting marketed the right way because I don't think the NBA wants to market certain players because if you don't have all the handles, all the defense, all the offense, they don't really want to talk about you, and that's kind of bad too. You have to be able to market certain players on almost every team. Yes, the Wizards, they're a really bad team, but you got to talk about somebody that's good on that team. I know that they got that young guy who used to play with Wemby, Bilal Coulibaly, defensive specialist that kid's becoming, but he doesn't get any coverage. And it's like they got to spread the wealth. They really do. They don't do that ever a lot of the times. It's always about the main teams. And I'm just like, why we got to talk about the Lakers? Always got to talk about the Lakers. Like once LeBron goes, we still got to talk about the Lakers? We talk about Austin Reeves getting the mantle. Like if they do that, oh my God. like what does Austin Reeves do besides shoot 3-point shots?
And he's only decent. He's only decent at that too, man. That's the thing.
Yeah. Like you want fan investment, all the teams, and we're Brooklyn fans through and through, but you wish almost every team gets a little bit of the spotlight because it's good to get insight into how good teams are doing, how middle teams are doing, even how bad teams are doing. Like when they talked about us beating those Warriors, the Kings, we barely got any coverage. They just were like, oh wow, Brooklyn beat that team. Why is that going? Why is that happening? Why are the Kings losing to them? Why are the Warriors and the Suns lose to them? There was like no props or like, hey, Coach Jordy's doing a good job. These guys are doing a good job. It's like we get like a 10, 15-second clip and that's it. Like, wow. Like it's unfortunate. Like if you're not a top team, they don't want to talk about you. And I think that's killing their ratings even more. You're lessening how many teams are in the league right now, BK? How
I
many?
think it's like 29, 30 something teams.
29 teams. And how many
Yeah.
teams get talked about? Like 5 or
Yep.
6?
Yep. Yeah.
And you wonder why ratings are climbing. Not everyone wants to hear about LeBron James all the damn time. Nobody wants to hear about Curry going 0 for 2 for the first time in his career. Like we want to hear about what's going on with all different teams because that's how you develop storylines. I think the problem with ESPN is they're so stat oriented a lot of the time. They don't really talk about good storylines.
But
Unless
what about
somebody's
all
getting
right,
traded.
hold on.
Unless somebody's getting traded, then it's
What
a
about
big storyline.
Barkley and Shaq and all these old players
Uh-huh.
trashing today's players, saying that they suck? Like Kevin Garnett, yo, I'm better than these guys. No, you're not. I mean, maybe Paul Pierce has an argument, but like, I mean, a lot of these old players, man, like Stockton ain't better than a lot of these players. I mean, Stockton's a great player, man. Don't get me wrong. But in his time, man, I mean, come on, man. Let's be for real over here, man. You
You
know,
know
like,
what it
you've
is
never
though with
seen
some
a
of
play
these
like
guys.
Kevin Durant, a
You also
7
know what it is
footer.
with some of these guys, BK, like the Shaqs, the Chucks, even the LeBrons and the Currys. They didn't get paid the money that a lot of these guys are getting paid, like the Lucas and Edwards and the Jamal Murrays. They didn't make an All-Star game yet. These guys getting paid $300, $400 million. Tatum and Brown as well. Like a lot of these guys financially are in great positions, but here's the problem. They only care about playoffs. They're not caring about regular season anymore. The All-Star game's gone to crap, like we talked about. They had to reset it. Like, I don't know what this whole 14 tournament thing's all about. I'm kind of confused about that. It's like, like these guys are getting paid financially to play a lot of games, and they miss a lot of national televised games. That's a big reason why the ratings keep going down because all these guys get rest days on days they're supposed to represent and compete in the big games. And unfortunately, the fact that injuries as well, let's be honest too, injuries the last few years, heck, maybe the last decade have been really bad for the NBA. I mean, I haven't seen this many guys get injured ever. I mean, this season especially,
Yeah,
BK,
well, listen,
there's like
man, these
20, 30
guys,
people injured in the first 3
it's
weeks.
more. Listen, the like the skill level of these guys, like a John Morant, man. They just because he's dynamic, they don't expect. Oh well, he's light, he's so explosive. Well, we don't expect you to actually play defense on him. No, you got to play defense on him. You better be able to slide your feet. And if you don't do it, then guess what? You're not playing. On a lot of these coaches, like Tibbs, like Tom Thibodeau. I mean, yeah, Tibbs over here. He demands defense. He don't want to hear, oh, Donovan Mitchell's dynamic. You better slide your feet. And that puts more wear and tear, and especially like the 3-point line, the way these guys can actually shoot threes now. I'd rather play down low where I don't have to be able to like have to scramble and put so much wear and tear on my lower extremities trying to chase these guys off the 3-point line, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's just the skill level's insane with these guys, man.
Well, you also,
I've been watching basketball since 1994, man. I watched it sparingly before that, but like hardcore, like 1994. The skill level of these guys is insane, man. Insane.
yeah, you also know what it is too. You just think about just how advanced too that this era of basketball is. Look at all the training facilities. You have all the best trainers you could have. You didn't used to have that back in the day. All these top guys. They had to fight and scratch and claw for everything. They had to do their own training. They didn't have dietitians and some of the best training facilities, treadmills, weights, you name it. They had to do it a lot of old school type ways, which is not with a whole lot. So you think about it too. This era of NBA, you almost have everything you could ask for. But again, why is the ratings keep going down? Because players are just all focused on playoffs. They
Now
forget
let me.
the
A
regular
lot of
season.
people are actually, and especially myself, gotten rid of cable, right? So I think they're still like judging off of cable systems. The Nielsen ratings is still looking at like a lot of people's gone to streaming. Like YouTube
Yeah.
TV, Fubo TV,
WWE
Amazon,
Raw, they're going to Netflix in like
yeah,
2 weeks.
Netflix,
Like
yeah.
everything's becoming a streaming thing.
Amazon actually
Mhm.
has what do you call League Pass. So I don't know if they really kind of counting that. And I think, maybe a lot of these guys are really being disingenuous. Because when I see, like the Brooklyn Nets, supposed to be a bad team, but the arena's full, a lot of these arenas around the league are full. I mean, I remember back in the days when a team was bad. I mean, so you saw like Charlotte had empty arenas, right? Damn near empty.
Yeah.
You can actually get seats for like pretty much anywhere. But like most of these arenas right now are full, man. So if the interest is not that great and the ratings are down, why the money keeps going up?
That's because of those deals they signed with Disney. I mean, hell, Disney's one of the richest corporations in the world for a reason, given their history and how they have their hand in almost everything, especially that deals with streaming or sports and all that. So the money's good for all these big corporations, but at the end of the day, if the goal is to have consistent basketball growth, you need to make sure that almost every team is benefiting somewhat. Unfortunately, when you have teams that are rebuilding or tanking, fan investment does go down for some. For Brooklyn, it's good for us because we have a lot of assets. We've got over 16 picks. We have future cap space. Like, if everybody actually looks at what the team has, you're like, wow, okay, this is going to be a little short period of going through some hell, but eventually it's all going to turn around. And at the end of the day, Brooklyn is now valued at $5.7 billion, the fourth richest market in the league. We're only behind Lakers, Warriors, and the Knicks right now. I think that's pretty good for a team that hasn't won a title yet and have been on the cusp of potentially doing some good things.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Unfortunately,
saying.
it
The
just
money
hasn't
keeps
worked in our
going
favor
up.
yet.
The valuations keep going up. So I mean, the product is not that bad. And listen, 3-pointers, you need to shoot, man. Shooting has always been a thing, right? I mean, where was the definitions I had, man? Hold on, I had the here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wikipedia here, man. So yeah, shooting since the advent of basketball has always been a thing, man. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's over here, right here. Shoot from the outside. I mean, that's always actually been a thing, man. There's certain players like Steph Curry, right? These guys don't have the athleticism, right, to just go to the rim and take it against the Jaden McDaniels. They have to shoot to get these guys off balance, man. So they
Right.
actually have to kind of really do that, man. I don't like I said, Charles Barkley and all these guys are really just being disingenuous, man. They really are.
Right. Well, you also know it is too with all the foul rules. I mean, I don't know how many foul rules are on the NBA, but it must be like over 20 to 30 like rules that have been instituted in like the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, when they got rid of the foul merchant thing that Harden and Trae Young do, every time they just bump into somebody, they get a call no matter what. Now you have the flop call. Like, if you try to sell something that isn't actually a foul, they call it on you and you get a free shot. And also at the same time, you can't now tag somebody when they have the ball and they're dribbling it out the court. That's pretty much what's the word? Well, basically, it's like you're in their way. Like, you can't do that. Back in the day, they used to do that to stop players for trying to go in transition. Now you get a free throw for it. Like, back in the day with Shaq and Chuck, you didn't have all these ticky tack fouls. It was either I'm going to knock you on your ass or I'm going to score the ball. Like, it was very old school like that back in the day, which I think a lot of people did like it.
That's not
Yeah,
defense, though, man. You
no,
knocking
I
somebody
know.
out of the air is not playing defense. That's
Right.
fouling.
No,
So
yeah,
they
you're
made
right.
it to where you
You're
need to
right.
be able to slide your feet. You have to
Right.
slide your feet.
And here's another thing. A lot of those guys back in the day, a lot of them were strong, burly guys. Now in the NBA, you have a lot of skinny frame dudes. You have a lot of smaller guard guys. And that's another thing that's a worry, too. It seems that 6 foot under guards are starting to become obsolete in a way. Like Trae Young, glad he's playing well this season, but if he wasn't playing well, he potentially could have been shipped out to a different team and his career might have ended if he didn't start playing well. And Thomas, thankfully, he found a coach that can utilize him, but it seems like the NBA is going back to bigger type bodies with the Zach Edey's, the Wembanyama's, and it seems like small guards are
That's what's
starting.
coming out, man. I mean, the average
Yeah.
height in the NBA is 6. Oh, hold on. All right, Harlem, if your dumbass is listening right now, when you say, yo, man, switch it up, man, only 3 people in the live right now. So please do me a favor. Shut the F up. I know what I'm doing, bro. Okay? All right? So you just switch it up, man. I can't talk about the Nets. Yeah. And 3 people's in this live right now watching. I know what the hell I'm doing, Harlem. So please, if you're listening, shut the fuck up. All right. Go ahead, Jonathan.
No, I'm glad you want to have a conversation about this. I think it's important because, I'm a fan of different sports, baseball, pro wrestling. So, like, I'm in all types of stuff. I don't watch football as much because that's another sport that's kind of lost, their edge. Like, everybody just cares about Super Bowl and the halftime show now. I mean, the halftime show, my gosh, that has more views than I think the actual games in regular season for football. So it almost kind of feels like there is something going on in the sports world. I don't want to say it's all becoming corporate or mechanical, but it kind of is. With the 3-point shot becoming so predominant, it's almost like guys don't want to be as physical during regular season games. They kind of just want to shoot threes. You know, they don't want to get the fouls pulled on them.
There's still people getting dunked on, man. I mean, I see it all the time.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
it's like
I mean,
once in a while in certain situations.
I mean,
It's not as frequent as it used to be.
if there's two people under the rim, right? You know, first you got to shoot and open things up, man. I mean, like I said before, spacing is critical in terms of getting those dunks in. But if you have two people, why are players going to risk injury trying to dunk it on two players?
No,
I mean,
you're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and you can't blame players for it. Like, I'm happy that John Morant told people I don't want to keep dunking all the time because I keep getting hurt, and I want to play playoff games.
Man.
I understand that, and he relies on athletic ability. If John Morant loses athletic ability, his career is not going to be anywhere where it should be right now. He'll be another Derrick Rose what if story, and we don't want that for a guy like him. So I'm glad he's taking a serious approach with that.
Let's switch over to the Brooklyn.
Yeah, let's go to Brooklyn.
I was listening to you earlier on Gary's thing, man. I'm like, dude, you and that Dylan guy, man, you guys don't understand, man. You don't.
No, be a Dylan understand.
Attack this thing slowly, man. You want to tear it all down, right? And not have any type of material to kind of really build it back up again, man. Right? That's the thing. You want to tear a whole building down, but then you have no supplies to build a new building, you know? So, all right, most of these the Nets can easily pick at number 9, right over here, man. So, Bleacher Report, hold on. Bleacher Report, Brooklyn Nets NBA draft notebook, Bleacher Report releases updated mock draft, you know, and all these mock drafts don't have the Brooklyn Nets picking at the number 3 pick, man.
That's because we're in the 9th or 10th seed right now, which we should even be in. And my biggest thing that me and Dylan really agreed on is the fact that we wish it was these young guys trying to scrap for these wins. We won because
they're never going to be good. They're never making all-star team.
But Big Gabe, the idea for this season is to get a top draft pick. That was the goal. It's not to
I agree, but it's not guaranteed. There's a lot of teams, Jonathan, going for that number.
I know, but we're taking ourselves out of it. We did the Raptors' dirty work yesterday. They rested some of their guys. Jakob Poeltl would play, and he wasn't because they didn't want to win the game. They figure if we jumped out to a lead at the end, they'll just give it to us. You know what? Bad on us because at the end of the day, we won that game. What did we win out of it? We lessened our draft guys.
I mean, if they take away, listen, somebody had to win that game. You know, I mean, it's two bad teams going at each other. Somebody has to win the game.
Yeah, but the problem is Johnson and Doe. Listen, I get you want to play him for 3 quarters, but you don't have to play him for the 4th quarter as well. You could sit them down and let the young guys play and let the results be what they're supposed to be. But Jordy's not doing that. He's playing these guys until the game is over, and that's I don't want to blame Jordy for. But at the same time, this is where Mark has to step in and say, you know what, Jordy, make sure these guys don't play in the 4th quarter or something. You got to do something like that.
What happens if you don't get a number 3 pick and you pick number 9?
Sean Marks didn't do his job, and he should be fired. Simple as that.
No, I mean they pull the plug, right? They do everything you want. They get rid of Ben Simmons. They get rid of Cam Johnson. They get rid of Zoe. And you might even have to talk about getting rid of Cam Thomas. You want to just lose almost every game.
Listen, I think Thomas will get re-signed because you have to use that cap space. If you let Thomas go, you can have over $100 million and nobody on his team.
He's still going to contribute to winning. He's playing for everybody that's playing for a contract. You have to get rid of these guys. You know.
Well, the thing is, we can re-sign Thomas, but he doesn't have a market right now. Why would we trade him and let him go when there isn't really anybody that covets him right now? Like, for us, it's an advantage to sign him and build up his value even more. So in the case that we come to a crossroads where we don't feel like Thomas is a fit for us, his value will be better by then, and you could probably get a better deal than you would right now trying to trade him because nobody's going to give you a high offer for Thomas right now. So I don't see us trading him. I see us trading Claxton. I mean, BK, what was he thinking the all night? He got fouled, and then he decides to throw the ball against 50 fans' heads and then try to throw a cushion at a referee. What is going on with Nick Dennis, Rodman Claxton, man? I want to know. This is going to look outrageous.
I mean, for the last 40 years, you have players like Claxton. That's emotional.
But why is he gotta be emotional? He just got $100 million. He has no accolades. He has no trophies. He has not a lot of. And we gave him $100 million, and he said he wanted to be a leader, grow his game. He has one of the best coaching staffs around him, and all he's done is kick his shoes in the dirt and make us look like a bunch of jokesters on the court. Like
Stop with the best coaches. Jordy hasn't done
Claxton
anything yet.
help Jordy? How does Claxton set an example for Jordy? How are these young guys supposed to look up at Claxton when he's doing this crap, getting himself kicked out of the game, and these young guys are struggling trying to play to win or lose, and Claxton just sitting in the back drinking a martini? It's just this way you got to trade Claxton. If he doesn't want to be there, if he just signed to get the money and that's it, we got to trade him. Like this is a guy that's going to be a toxin to your wherever you're trying to build around. We're trying to build something, but he's trying to stop that from even happening too, and that's a problem. Like he's done this like 8 or 9 times.
He's a non-factor, man. I don't want to even talk about him.
I know, but BK, remember the beginning of the season when he closed on Dyson Daniels? Everyone said I was making a big deal of it. No, I was talking facts because this guy has a pattern now. Now it's becoming a bad habit. He said, "Oh, it's a mental lapse. My bad." No, Claxton. And one or two, I get, but 9 to 10.
Listen, these guys are human beings. We don't know if anything personal is going on in their lives, man. We don't know.
No, you know what it is? He doesn't want to go through adversity. He wants to play on a winning team. I get that, Claxton, but you have to show us that you can improve your value. If you're just kicking your shoes in the dirt, hurts your trade value, and we're forced to keep you. So it feels like Claxton's the one that don't want to play ball here. It seems like
he's been hurt. Sean Marks is trying to get 2 first-round picks for him before the trade deadline.
Take a first, and that's it. Take a first and ship him out. I don't need 2 firsts.
No, you couldn't even get a first-round pick for him.
Oh, the way he's going, if he can't get through a quarter and a half of a game, his value is definitely going to be out of first-round pick range. But we do got to make a move with him. I think you keep Day'Ron on the cheap. Day'Ron and Conley played well together the other night. 18 rebounds combined. They had 16 points, and they were +3 together. Like, that's a future right there, potential you could see with those 2 guys. Claxton, I don't see the fit right now.
Those guys are role players, man. You know.
Yes, but you need role players to build your structure.
They're not measuring up to like top tier centers in the NBA or top power forwards.
They're still both very young and could grow their game. So I'm not going to say that they're going to match up to anybody yet, but they have potential.
Historically, right? You got to come like Paolo Banchero. You got to come into the NBA like with a bag. I've never seen. I'm trying to think of so many years I've been watching like. I've never seen role players morph into like all-stars. They are what they are, man. You know? Like Keon Johnson, he is what he is. You know? I don't know who's training these guys. You know, who's watching? I don't know, but
that's the crazy thing.
They are who they are. They're not going to become anything better.
That's the crazy thing. How do we win yesterday with a rotation of Keon Johnson, Ben Simmons, and Nick Claxton, especially when Claxton got kicked out and Keon Johnson at 0
Ben Simmons is a matchup nightmare, man. Remember,
he only did this well because the Raptors were resting half their guys, and he's
still a matchup problem. He's a 6'11" point guard, right? You still got like he can get. You saw he can get to if he's healthy, he can get to the rim at will. And you have to run a second defender at him.
He's too much of a mixed bag, though, BK. He has these days where he surprises you. Like, when he has good days, we never know when to expect it. But when we expect him to have a decent day, he has a horrible, crappy day. Like, this is a guy you can't rely on. If his results are so mixed baggish like this, you just got to send him home if you can't trade him with the deadline.
Games, man. He's getting better almost like every game. Well, it was like the first 8 or 9, 10 games. But, like, the last 2-3 games, he's actually getting better. He's been looking to be more aggressive. He has to have confidence in his body to actually make sure it holds up, man. I mean, I had a lot of injuries playing basketball, man. And I had a knee injury.
It's just
when I was practicing with my team, right? I said, damn, I didn't do full court in a long time. I hurt my knee. I said, man, hopefully my knee holds up. I was worried about that knee and everything. And it was on my mind. You know, so you got to actually have confidence, you know, in your body that it will actually hold up, man. That back injury, I had back spasms last week. Thank God most of it is gone. Those was just regular spasms on the lower back. Imagine having like an L4, man. Yo, that injury is like 90 times worse than what I was going through, and I was in some severe pain, man. Severe pain. So you got to just make sure that you have the confidence and you don't want to tweak anything and you can do the same things you used to do. You don't want to, you know, like cut this way, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's hard to actually explain unless you like really go out there and you play basketball and you had injuries and, you know, that player in Utah who his leg just gave away, man. His leg
is scary.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to like, that's some like, because you got to think about that, man. I mean, you got to think about life after basketball too, man. These guys are human beings, you know.
And
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like with Simmons, like I feel like okay, let him play out his contract until after the deadline, then you send him home and let him go somewhere else. If he wants to go somewhere else, that's fine. It's just I feel like with him, it's like a ticking time bomb. You don't know when the back will go out or if he's gonna have a spasm or anything like that because he has chronic issues, and unfortunately, having to manage that, having to take care of that
No,
constantly,
listen, I agree. I mean,
it's worrisome for us.
I just don't want you guys trashing him, saying that he's garbage because he's not trash. You
Listen,
know,
when he plays like crap, I will call it out, and when he plays
I will.
good,
I
I'll
did
give him an
too.
honorable
I mean,
mention.
I called him out the
I
whole
even gave an
season.
honorable mention today on Gary. So I give him. I said, "Hey, Ben had a good game." You know, with even going with my eyes going like, "Wow,
No,
I
I
didn't
heard
expect
the
that."
show.
Yeah, like I'll give him a little
But we
credit,
got
but
to
I
get
also,
replacements, man. Like I said, when if you're a business owner, Jonathan, and you know, and you're running a business. Let's say it could be a factory or something like that, right? And you got 4 or 5 employees. Do you want them just resigning on you on the spot, or you want them to give you advance notice saying that, hey, listen, I'm going to resign, and now you got to get replacements for these guys, man? I
well,
mean, you get rid of Ben Simmons now. There's no guarantee you're going to get a good point. Let's say even if you get a good point guard, right? You know, and we got to go by the more realistic probability over here that they're not going to get a number 1 through 3 pick, and that the 80% chance they're going to get like a number 7, 6, 7, 8, or 9th pick, right? That's
if
what we
you're
have to really go
if
by.
you're
I'm
in the
going
play, if
by
you're in
the
the
highest
play,
probability here.
if you're in the play-in, you probably will get a 12th pick at this point because that's where you're going to be at. And you know, for people to say that, oh, we're going to do what the Hawks did, get in the play and get a top first pick, that's an anomaly. That's something that hasn't happened
No,
like what
I'm just saying,
14
even
years,
if they're
something.
not in the play-in, they still can get a number 7 for 8th pick, though, Jonathan.
Yeah, but that's doing self-damage because the goal is to be outside of the play-in,
That's
outside
not
of the
Sean
playoffs.
Marks' fault, though. If they lose all
It
these
kind of
games
is.
and
It
they
kind
still
of is.
no, if they lose all these games like you want, and they still get a number 7 for 8th pick, I mean that's up to the basketball gods, man, the lottery gods right there, man,
I'll
or
tell
the
you this
NBA
though. We're
or
talking
Adam
about
Silver.
BK. We're
You
talking
can't
about
blame
NBA.
Sean
But
Marks for
BK,
that.
but BK, we're talking about NBA ratings decline. If we get into that bottom, lottery seed right there, we'll go up against a lot of middle tier, low market teams like Wizards. You know, maybe Pistons, Hornets, and all these other teams. There's 2 Ruckus stars there in our backyard right now. It would surprise me. You'd have to hate Brooklyn for us to not get one of those guys at least. Because if you want to make money, you want to make Brooklyn into more of a franchise market than it already is at their value. You get one of those guys, we're making the NBA a lot of money at that point because fans will be there almost every night to see an Ace or Harper grow this team. And
I
if
mean,
we get
fans are
Ace,
there now. Listen, the Barclays is not empty at all.
no, it's not. It's
I
not.
mean,
But
it's
if you want,
almost
but
full
the
to
idea is to
capacity. I mean,
take
from what
Brooklyn.
I see
But
watching sports on television.
BK, the idea is to take Brooklyn to the next level. We have never drafted a top lottery pick in Brooklyn history yet. We
Right,
always
but
host the
Sean
draft
Marks
every
has
night of
no
every year in
control over that.
Barclays.
Sean Marks he can't go to Adam
He can
Silver,
control where we land though, ranking wise, and that's by getting the
and
best
you
off the
still
team.
can get a number 7 to 8th pick.
If you keep the vets on this team and keep beating these other teams like
No,
Utah
you can still
Raptors,
lose. You can
yeah,
still pull the plug.
but BK, don't you get it? We're doing dirty work for these teams. If we knock out the Wizards, we knock out the Hornets, we knock out the Raptors and Utah, those teams' odds improve as they go more to the bottom. Meanwhile, we're near middle tier. You do not want to be a middle tier team, especially if you don't have a solidified star or superstar on this team right now. You don't want to be like that.
Jonathan, there's no guarantee that
I
you get the
understand
number
that,
1 pick.
BK, but the goal here is to do as much work as you can between now and the draft to position yourself. That's what the best thing you can do is position
the
yourself
only
right
reason
now.
I'm watching the Brooklyn Nets is because of Ben Simmons, because of Cam Thomas, and because of Cam Johnson. I'm not interested in watching Keon Johnson every night.
I understand.
I'm
I
sorry.
understand. Not a lot of people do, but when you're in a rebuild mindset, this has to happen in order to get a top pick. You can't just keep these vets on the team and they
It's
keep
not.
winning you games. You're not supposed to win.
Jonathan, you're not getting it. There's a lot of teams really going for the lottery too, man.
And a
We're
lot
not
of them
the
are going to get
only
asked out.
one.
BK, a lot of them get asked out. Imagine the Wizards on the bottom 2 and they get the 7th or 8th pick. That's
Remember,
because they purposely crapped out.
OKC can still get a top pick this and next
Unless we trade for it, unless we give him Johnson for that pick, that would be my deal. You got to give me that pick, so you guys can't be in the draft with us. That would be one of my.
I don't think he's worth that. I mean, I love Cam Johnson, but he's not like a Porzingis, right? He's not like a Drew Holiday. I mean, he's a good role player. I have to see more, right? I have to see a lot more to actually say that he's a high end role player, man.
Well, for a team like
Porzingis,
OKC,
we've seen a large sample
Mhm.
size of Porzingis, right? We've seen
right?
a large sample size of Drew Holiday for me to give up like a top pick. But Cam, if let's see. I mean, I wish if he would have done this like for the
OKC
last
makes a
couple of
lot.
years.
OKC makes a lot of sense just because their 3-point shooting has been bad. I mean, the NBA Cup they were 10 for 30. Some of those guys on that team off the bench are not as good as Johnson right now with his 3-point shot. So if they just gave us like 2 salary pieces, 2 first-round
No,
picks,
I'm
that's
saying,
enough
but you
for
got
a
to
deal
see a
right
large.
there.
You got to see a larger sample size, man. I mean, if Cam Johnson's been doing this for the last 2 years, he was hurt last year, but if he was to do this, like putting up these kind of numbers for the last 2 years, I mean, we have like a large sample size, and we'll
Yeah,
know.
but
Okay,
the
this
goal
is who
for us
Cam
is to not
Johnson is.
wait till he's 30 years old, though, and then try to trade him. Because by then he'll be worth even less than he is right now. This is the best and only time
I
you can
mean,
get
yeah,
something
as
decent
long
back
as
for
long as he,
Johnson.
I mean, his best thing is shooting. So as long as he actually shoots, only reason why he's doing this, he has to do this on this team to really kind of make it relevant. But I mean, he's been so efficient at it. It's not like he's taking like
All right.
29 shots a game.
Well, he's
I mean,
taking a lot more on this team because our offensive options are so
he took 15
little.
shots the
Yeah,
last game.
yeah, but before that, he's had a lot of all these 20, 30-point
Yeah.
performances, and that's just because he's taking
I like because he's not
he's
like
taking
I
more
said.
offensive
This is what
chances.
you kind of look for, like Cam Johnson. If you want to be a pro player, like look at Cam Johnson and actually how he plays and how he gets his points. The same thing with like Kevin Durant. Not that I'm putting them in the same category, but like in terms of how they actually get their shots and their efficiency, man.
Oh, I'm not going to compare Johnson. His KD's efficiencies on a whole special level. I guarantee you're not going to see many KDs ever in a lifetime. Be lucky that we got to see him in Brooklyn because he's just on a different level with his mid-range shot ability and the 3-point shot. Johnson, I'll give him credit. The 3-point shot this year, some of those long 3-point shots gave me Kevin Durant vibes. I'm just like,
hold
how
on, we
do you do that
got
shot?
Pete. We got Big Pete from Nets
Hey,
fans. You
Pete.
know, check out my
What's up,
boy's
boys?
channel there. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
So we got into the ratings earlier. Then we kind of got in. I'm trying to get Jonathan but first of all, we'll get into the ratings a little bit later, Pete. Let me just get into the whole thing over here with this this draft thing. Now, I'm of the mindset of actually keeping some of the vets on this team because even if you pull the plug on the whole thing, right? You're not guaranteed a number 1 through 3 pick. You could get it, but I say 70-80% chance you're going to wind up with like a 7th pick, a 8th pick, or a 9th pick, man. Because there's so many teams like really in that like fighting for that 1 through 3 pick. You know,
Wait. Do you guys think that we could actually catch the Jazz and the Wizards?
No, I don't. But you
I
could
don't think
catch
so.
you could catch maybe the Hornets or the Pistons if you don't stop winning all these games. But we're doing dirty work for the Raptors, Utah, Wizards, all these other teams if we beat up on them, and that's a problem. Like Dylan made a great point. I don't know if you watched Gary's show before with us, but he made a great point. It's like why are we winning games with Johnson and
because
Dell?
there's
Whereas
no
with the
guarantee
no,
you're going to
but
get a
Hoops,
number 1 through.
wait, Hoops,
All
can I
right,
finish?
hold on, Jonathan. Even if you get rid of everybody, let's say if you get a number 1 through 3 pick, that's one player, right?
But BK,
Dylan Harper and a bunch of parts, you know, for years and years and years is not going to do anything, man.
we have
Isn't
assets
LeBron
though,
just one
BK.
player?
Huh?
Isn't LeBron just one player?
No, but he has AD, right?
You know what I mean. The point is, there's 5 guys on the court. Getting a superstar is like super important.
Yeah.
You know better than that, BK. Come on.
No. I don't know
And
Dylan
BK,
Harper's
this
a superstar. I
BK,
think
this is
AJ
the problem.
DeBonsa is. I think AJ DeBonsa is a superstar. I
BK,
think Dylan Harper's. Is he gonna do like make? Is he gonna pull up Ben Simmons type performances? Make 3 All-Star teams before his first rookie contract and everything? I mean, I don't see that happening with Dylan Harper. He's a good player, but I don't know.
Really?
BK, you guys see him grow. You do watch him in college. He's been killing it in college.
College and pros are 2 totally different things.
This guy is
You
built
watch the
differently.
games?
Yeah, BK, do you know that Dylan Harper has the most weight out of all the top draft picks?
No,
He's at
I agree,
215 right
but
now.
you gotta
He's
understand,
game ready.
pro level, the length The length.
Oh, here we go
I-
again. He's a decent rebounder. BK, you want to hear something fun? I don't think you watched this. You know that Dylan Harper, 6'6", is out rebounding Yegor Demon at 6'8", if you check the stats? He's actually out rebounding him. So
No,
he can
I agree.
rebound. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but really, you don't want your guards really like
But
rebounding.
he doesn't. But the thing is, he's a guard. He doesn't need lift.
No, I'm saying he's going to go up against the JD McDaniels. I mean, they're going to see like a lot of longer, more athletic guys, man. There was a Jalen Snugs can play defense. I mean, there's going to be a lot more.
Is he going to be playing against the best defenders every night?
Yeah, if he's the only guy on the team, they're going to actually see the best players. Best.
He's going to have he'll have CT next to him, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, they come to some type of agreement. Hopefully,
BK.
Yeah.
BK, the ultimate goal is to get a top 3 pick. The rest of these months really don't matter to me about who's on the team right now. It's getting to the draft.
Can you please tell him that the number 1 through 3 pick?
No. Can Pete please tell BK that? I know you don't want to lose, but at the end of the day, if Johnson's winning games, they're hurting us.
Listen, I want the number 1 through 3 pick, but it's not guaranteed.
But why can't the young guys go through this adversity by themselves and try to earn these wins here or there? Why is it Dale Johnson got to be relied on to get us wins that are hurting us? No, Pete. BK's telling me that Johnson
is from a different person.
Maybe I'm wrong. Pete, BK's telling me that we need Johnson Doe on this team to get us wins because he doesn't want to go through a little adversity with the young guys to get a top pick, which I think is pretty egregious for one season.
You want to keep both of them, BK?
I want to keep them just in case we don't get the number 1 through 3 pick.
We're not going to get the 1 through 3 pick.
Let's say we draft like 6th, right? You would still, like, does that change? Like anything, you're still probably going to get a good player at 6 or 5.
Yeah, but if you get rid of the vets, right? I mean,
but they have all the cap room.
Johnson.
They could even re-sign Schroeder.
Yeah, which I don't think we're going to do, but yeah.
I don't think the things they have so much cap room that you could pay for a vet.
Tyus Jones, he's going to be a free agent. I don't know if the Suns have cap space to retain him. He's a good player. Wait, do you know that he has the best turnover assist ratio in the NBA right now?
No more undersized guys, man.
Oh,
no more below the rim undersized guys.
And you wonder why ratings are dying because they want to get rid of the undersized guys who can score well, but they want all these bigs in the league now.
You can't win with them in a 7-game series when it comes to the playoffs, man. They all target them.
So Trae Young beating your best boys affiliate team when he was undersized, that's once in a rarity.
I told you they were giving him a lot of the calls. They were giving him. Yeah,
BK, can I say one thing, guys? Like when you draft somebody, like Steph Curry wasn't Steph Curry, right? Like if Trey Johnson becomes like a superstar and he gets drafted, I don't know, like at 8th, like these guys came from a place, they're just not born into the league as superstars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Trae Young, because of his size, he has to do so much, right? And then let's say if you get into the finals, right, or like in like the Eastern Conference Finals, like shooting, like you need your legs for shooting. His legs are gonna be shot trying to carry it. He needs he can't be your main guy, man. He has to go.
I'm just saying, like, people started from somewhere. You just don't go into the league. You build around them. You do player development. You build around.
But Trae Young was nice. It wasn't like Trae Young was Keon Johnson, and then he just morphed into Trae Young.
I'm not saying Trae Young.
Trae Young was actually really, really good coming into the NBA.
And you know why he's good right now with the Hawks, BK? Because they have bigger players around him now, like Jalen Johnson, Okongwu. They have younger defensive guys, Dyson Daniels. Like, he has a real team around him now. And I think the Hawks they were justified in keeping him because they could have let him go and big crap, but now they're competing as a team.
Trae Young go,
yeah, they're never going to win. I agree, they're never going to win, but you know what? It's good they're not going to win because they're out of our draft odds right now. So good for them on that one.
I mean, people pay to watch Trae Young, right? He's a big draw for Atlanta. They're never going to get rid of Trae Young. I don't see it happening. I would be shocked if they do that. Yeah,
right.
I would be shocked, but I don't see him getting rid of Trae Young.
So you don't think Trae Young could ever win?
Not if he's the main guy, because like he had, his size, right? He has to play defense. I mean, they're going to target him. And
what about Steph Curry? He's small.
Yeah, but he has help though. Yeah, he had Clay, he had
Exactly. We got a
Draymond,
team around
he
him.
had
Exactly.
Kevon Looney, right? And like I said, the first championship, right? That was because LeBron James and not LeBron James, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love was injured. Then they had to actually go get Kevin Durant. He went on a jet to the Hamptons and begged Kevin Durant to come over there. But the first championship that Steph Curry won was because Kyrie and Kevin Love was hurt, and LeBron's next best player was Matthew Dellavedova and Timothy Mozgov.
What about the last championship then?
Yeah, that was one championship though.
Listen, we don't have any championships, so I'll take the
Yeah,
one.
I mean, it's been a lot of parity. I don't know who's even winning, but no, we know it's more than likely Boston.
That's why it starts at the draft, BK. If you want Brooklyn to ever get their first championship, we need to make history and draft their first ever lottery
BK
prospect.
is like drafting though. He's not an anti-tanker.
I know, but he wants to keep Johnson Doe, and I'm like, you don't got to keep him if you could trade him. Pete, why don't you tell BK about your hypothetical with the Rockets? I agree with you. The Rockets have pretty much most of what we want. Like, tell BK a bit about that with Johnson.
Let me hear it.
I didn't do anything. I just go on Trade Machine and I try different teams. They have Jeff Green and they have Steve Adams, right? 20 million expiring. You could trade CJ straight through. We actually take 2 million off our cap. And they have a treasure trove of picks. They have the 27 Phoenix pick. They have our swap this year with Phoenix. They have a swap, I think, with one of our picks in 29, maybe. And I don't know. I call it the path of least resistance. The easiest way, the simplest trade would be with Houston. And they need shooting, right? But I got told, someone told me that I think that I might be wrong, that Houston's not going to be interested. So we'll see what happens.
They should be interested. And here's the thing. I keep hearing Memphis, Rockets, OKC, and those are the top 3 teams in the West. That's an arms race right there. Getting a Johnson on one of those teams gives them a better shot of doing well in the first round at least. And like you said, Rockets have Adams, Green, expiring styles. Whitmore, if they want to not give us a second first-round pick, we can find a way to bargain to get Whitmore. If we have to give them maybe one of our Knicks picks to get Whitmore, I'm open to doing that as well.
The thing is with Cam Johnson is that Porzingis, even though he's been injury riddled for years, we knew what Porzingis can actually do when he's healthy, right? We just started seeing Cam Johnson do this, man. I mean, I'm shocked at what I'm seeing from Cam Johnson. I saw little glimpses of it when he was with Phoenix and when he was with the Brooklyn Nets, but I didn't see this.
We have no offensive weapons. That's why he's doing so well. We only had Thomas and Dennis. Johnson just found a way to build his value up the right way.
I mean, he's doing everything. He's posting up smaller guys. He's taking the ball you've seen stuff. I mean, I watched him in Phoenix. I mean, you've seen flashes of this, but never like this, though. That's the thing. And if you're Houston, right, would you want to give up that for, Cam Johnson, though, man, who I love as a player, man. But again, we haven't really seen a large sample size of this.
But BK, they're giving up expiring salaries. Adams and Green aren't long-term pieces to the Rockets' puzzle. Johnson gives them a little bit of youth, gives them some veteran presence and some three-point shooting. They need another weapon on the team. I know the Rockets don't want to go after a star this year, but you got to do something if you're the Rockets. I mean, you've been rebuilding for a few years now. If you want to take that next step, getting Johnson works for them and getting some assets from them works for us. And we have a good trade relationship. We did that big deal to get our own picks back. Why not do a second business deal with them? I think we can work something out like that.
Listen to this. The Rockets are 28th in the league at three-point shooting.
Yikes.
32%.
That's awful. They got to do something. And what about the OKC? They're like, 23, I think, or something like that?
I can look it up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, they're around 20-something.
Listen, OKC is like a pipe dream. Everyone wants Topic. Topic just got drafted with a 12th overall pick. They're not trading him. They're contending, and they said, you know what? We like this guy so much, we're giving him a roster spot, even though we're contending, and he's not going to play. That tells you a lot, and people still think we're going to get him.
I'm fine with 2 contracts. They got Ousmane Dieng, they got Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and Kenrich Williams. Give me 2 of those guys and give me 2 first-round picks you really don't care about. They actually have a Nuggets 2027 or 2029 one that could be valuable to us down the line, because I don't think the Nuggets iteration will be together past 2028 or something like that. So if there are 2 first-round picks they really don't need, we could take that and make a deal. Like, I'm open to it. We don't have to get their best first, but we definitely need to add more to our draft stock. So we can make a good deal like that. We don't need to get Wallace or Nikola Topic. That's not a deathbed for me on that one, but you got to definitely, you can make a good deal with him. It's just, can Marks actually be flexible enough, or is he going to demand, I need Nikola and 2 picks? Because I don't think they'll give you that. But OKC definitely needs to make a move.
Hold on, wait, Pete. So I didn't get my question answered at all. And don't say anything, Jonathan. What's the probability that the Nets can actually get a number 1 through 3 pick versus like getting like outside the lottery?
So what are you asking me right now? I said, what are the chances that we're a top 3 pick?
Yeah.
Or outside the lottery? Or like, what do you think is the most likely?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right now we're picking 9th, and 12th is the last lottery pick. No, so I would have to say we're closer right now to missing the lottery than being the 3rd overall pick.
So
I think it's like 20% or something. I just looked this up a minute ago. I think it's 20% that we could be a top 4 pick if we finish that 9th.
Okay. So what about if the Nets pull the plug, they get rid of Ben, Cam Johnson, DFS, right? And they lose, like, let's say 70 to 80% of the remaining games. Is it possible? Is it a high probability they still can get the number 7th, 8th, or 9th pick?
Let's see. Right now they're at game 27, so I'm going to round up to say 30. So that means that there's 52 games left, and you said 80%.
Yeah, if they pull the plug now, they get rid, because you might have to get rid of Cam Thomas. Any player that's like on this team that's just looking to actually win, because of like Ben Simmons is looking for a new contract, Cam Thomas is looking for a new contract.
So that would be, they would go. They would have, if I'm estimating, they'd have 56 losses. 82 minus 56. I'm not great at math. Somebody help me out.
You got this, Pete. You
don't gotta run the calculator or anything like that. Just give me a probability, like just like a raw estimation, though. You don't have to run the exact numbers or anything like that. I say it's a good chance that they still can pick outside the lottery, even if they lose a lot of their games.
But why do you want that, BK?
No, I'm not saying I don't want that. I'm not saying I don't want it.
I got an answer for you. So I just estimated they'd get 26 wins. If we took that record and look at last year, the Nets would be picking 4, 5, 6. They'd be picking 7th.
Okay.
This is
they
why
lost 80% of their.
And that's the thing, though. There's a lot of teams. Let me pull up the NBA, because like all these mock drafts, right? I mean, this is the story I kind of pulled up over here. SI, they have Bleacher Reports releases updated mock draft over here, so they have the Nets actually picking number 9. I don't know if there's something rigged over here.
That's the current record.
That's where the play-in right now.
NBA Draft Net, right? They never had the Nets picking even before the season even started. They never had the Nets picking like number 1 through 3. They had the Nets picking at number 9 even before the season even started.
At the end of the day, BK, we have to take the pieces to whatever's left of this puzzle apart bit by bit, because we also have 2026 draft to think about as well with AJ DeBonsa, Cam Boozer, and these other guys that can be there too. I think the Nets want to capitalize on both these drafts.
I don't think they're going to do it, Jonathan.
Well, they're not going to go after 2026. You think this is just 2025 one and done?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're going to try to be competitive next year.
Well,
they're not going to get a star, but they're going to be like, okay, we're not tanking anymore.
Nah, but you know what it is, Pete? The only way they would throw 2026 away is if Giannis asks out. To me, that's the only path where if you're going to throw AJ DeBonsa and Boozer away, it'd only be for Giannis. I wouldn't throw 2026 away for anybody else, but if that's what Marks wants to do, you made your bet and lied it, but that's why you have to get top pick. And BK, getting an 8th and 9th pick for us is what's going to help us at all. You have to get in top 5 at least and hope you get top 3. Like, you can't get 8 and then go for a Giannis and then compete for 2 to 3 years, because you're going to suffer financial hell. You have a very small window, and then we're screwed. So you have to really capitalize on this draft, BK, and it starts with getting Johnson Doe off this team.
Well, that's the thing. If you get another 8th pick, right, and you get rid of all these veterans, I mean, sure, you can actually re-sign some vets, I guess. They're not going to be good as Cam Johnson, good as Ben Simmons,
Define good, BK, because Simmons and Johnson, they're not as great as you sometimes think they are. Like Simmons, we already know where Simmons is at. Johnson, quality role player, but he's doing this specifically because there's no real options on his team. If he goes to OKC, his scoring percentage is not going to be 50%. There might be over 30%, close to maybe 40, respectfully. But Johnson's not going to have to do what he's doing on this team if he goes to OKC, Rockets, or even Memphis. So, you got to keep that in perspective, BK. He's doing this because our options on the team on offense is so limited right now.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. But it's not like he's just taking 30 shots a game. He's taking like 16, 17 shots a game. I mean, you got to look at the efficiency numbers he's actually doing this on, man. It's not like he's just chucking up shots just to be chucking up shots, man. He's getting really, really good looks.
No, you're right. You're right about that. That's where you got to capitalize on the value. But, like Pete said, if we throw away 2026, you have to hit high on this draft because it would be egregious if we get like the 9th or 10th pick and then we just trade for a star and it's like, oh, we're going to do it and sell tickets and win a title. No, you fast track it something that would fail if you don't get an Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper. So we got to be in that top bottom 5 right now.
So Pete, right?
Picking 8 and 9.
The Spurs, the Kings, the Trailblazers, the Jazz, and the Pelicans. All these guys are competing for the 1 through 3 seeds, too, right? They're still in the mix,
right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell Jonathan. So,
listen, right now everyone's like all upset we lost against Toronto, and listen, I'm upset too. But really, we're just 2 games out of like the 6th spot. It's not that crazy. We're not that far off.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
When you face the best teams, we're probably not beating them, but it's these bottom teams, Pete, that worry me. If we're knocking down Wizards, Raptors, and, Hornets, because they're doing pretty bad, and Pistons, like we knock those guys down, we're improving their odds and lessening ours with who we got on this team right now. And that's why if Mark waits all the way till the deadline, you're going to hurt your value odds a little bit there. So, you hope we could get a deal done maybe around mid-January at best with either Johnson or Doe. But with Marks, you never know. He might just take it all the way to February like he always does. But I don't think that's the right strategy for this year, especially when this team has shown you Jordy can put anything together and it somehow leads to a victory or a near victory. And you got to do something.
I just did a podcast with CJ Holmes from the Daily News.
Nice.
He thinks that during
how you been getting these guys, man? I'm like,
I can't tell you, bro. It's a secret, bro. I can't tell you. I'm just connected. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you out to like Smith and Walensky's in Manhattan, man. I'm gonna try to woo you and tell me how you be getting these guys on, man.
If you go to a game, you buy me a beer, I'll tell you.
All right, no problem.
Nah, Pete, I had a question for you, though. The Kings specifically, let's say that they somehow crash and don't even get in the play-in somehow this year, which would be wild. But say with Fox, like, what if he doesn't re-sign with the Kings and he wants out? And you said we might not go for 2026. Do you think that there would be a probability chance that if we hit higher in this draft that we maybe pull off a sign and trade for De'Aaron Fox with the gamble of re-signing him in 2026? Would that be something potentially on the table if Fox is just like, this ain't for me and I want out? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm never going to tell you that I know something when I don't know anything.
Right.
I have no idea. But if I had to take a guess, I don't think they would do that.
Okay.
When I tell you, I heard something, like it means like I actually heard something.
Well, so would you say he would re-sign regardless? Because obviously he's going to choose financial security before himself. But if the Kings really don't do well, like not even make the play-in, would you think that there could be a chance? Because Fox does like Coach Jordy, and the Kings are kind of like the Brooklyn Nets of the West in a way because they're never really up there, but they have 1 or 2 good seasons, but they never quite put the pieces to the puzzle together. Fox could be maybe a better investment for us than Giannis because I don't think you have to give up a fortune to get Fox in a trade. Whereas with Giannis, you have to give up 4 to 5 first-round picks if you're going to forfeit 2026. I think Fox is more gettable, and he's more of like a building piece you talked about towards doing this a little better.
This is my personal
traffic. John's actually saying that's never going to happen again. That's just a rare anomaly.
That's an anomaly. Come on, for that to happen to us, if we were the 7th, the 8th, and 9th seed, that would be wild. But I don't think it's going to happen.
I think if they take a point guard, I don't think they'll be interested in trading or signing him. I don't think they trade for him. I think there's a real possibility that if the Nets start, looking a little more attractive, Jordy's still in place, that there's a chance that he would sign with us. I think that's a dark horse candidate for sure.
Right. I agree.
Not out of trade. It would have to be like free agency, I think.
Right, and that's the gamble. That's why you hope you get Harper, not have to do the
I mean,
Giannis
we'll
move
see.
and
I
wait
mean,
till 2026.
hold on, JP, man. The 26 draft, I thought it was actually really good, but
I have no idea with that. With the draft stuff, I
it's
can't.
no,
I can't
I'm sorry,
comment.
not the draft. I'm sorry, free agency. It's a little bit better than it's not. Most of those guys are going to resign with their teams, man. I mean, Shea's out there, Luke is out there. I don't see him leaving or anything like
No,
that. But
they're both staying easy.
they're both going to stay. And you would think that it's because it's OKC, they like Shea wouldn't stay, but Donovan
No,
Mitchell
they got
chose
it. They got a
Cleveland.
juggernaut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell chose Cleveland over New York. So
The
I
the
mean,
only
I
the
think
only
he
way
chose the
to,
money.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, I mean, still it's Cleveland. I've been to. I mean, you ever been
You
to
know,
Cleveland?
you know
I've been
what's
to
funny
Cleveland
though?
like 40 or 50
Let me
times.
tell
It's
you something
dead
really
over
quick
there.
with this. Let me tell you something really quick with this. So I had somebody tell me this about right when he re-signed. He said, Pete, he's not going to live out that contract in Cleveland. They thought and still think that he's going to ask for a trade if Cleveland doesn't work out. But right now it's working out. But he's got the money, and then he's going to request a trade to New York down the line.
Wow. Imagine we did the Giannis deal and then did the Mitchell deal down the line. Giannis and Mitchell on this team. That would be with
I
potentially a
don't know,
Harper or
man.
Ace.
It's
That'd be
like
scary. That'd be
Cleveland
scary.
is loaded, man. I mean,
They look
it's
good.
tough having to carry a team. Like it's hard, man. It's I mean, he's older now too, man. I mean, it's fun when you're younger, but you even see Brandon Ingram, man. He doesn't want to have to carry. It's hard, man. I don't know. We'll
Ingram's
see.
a third piece. He can't carry like Mitchell does. But I'll
No,
tell you
that's
this.
why he doesn't want to come to a young team. He doesn't want to do it.
I'll tell you this with the Cavs though. This is a big make or break season for them, is they have to show that they could win the playoffs, like first, second round, maybe against Eastern Conference Finals. And if they don't get to Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics this year, I think Mitchell's looking at like, wow, I'm great regular season with these guys, but every time we get to the playoffs, it's like we're second fiddle, third
Yeah,
fiddle. So this is a make or break
I'll
season
look
for
into
them,
Jeremiah
honestly.
Fears. We'll look into him. So Cleveland is bad as New York City. Manhattan is trash. Yeah, but Manhattan's starting to come back. I was in Manhattan earlier. I went to Rockefeller Center earlier.
I'm
It's
sorry you had to do that.
no, it wasn't. Well, it was better than last year. It wasn't as crowded, man. So that was good. It was wall to wall last year in
No,
Rockefeller Center.
I can't move in Manhattan. I get anxious. I just start bumping people. I'll shoulder people. I don't care. I do the first shit.
Well, you better watch the migrants down there now too, man. Trende Agua, yeah.
I don't fuck with the city, man. I stay in Brooklyn or I go to the Bronx.
Yeah. It's too
Well,
narrow.
let me go into the NBA ratings thing real quick. And like when I started the show, I tried something a little bit different. But hell no, Oren moves back to Jersey. No way. No. Hell no.
I had
I mean,
people
Brooklyn,
tell
you see
me that.
Brooklyn's valuation,
Wait,
man?
I gotta say this. I had people telling me that the Nets were doing horrible, that they should move back to Jersey, that it was a total mistake moving to Brooklyn, that they're losing money in Brooklyn.
Pete, we're the fourth. Pete, we're the fourth most valuable franchise
Exactly,
in the NBA. $5.7 billion. Like, I'm gonna tell people that every time they say, "John, why do you guys want to tank this year? You're a losing franchise." I'm just gonna show you this little post right here. We're only behind the Lakers, the Knicks, and the Warriors on market value. So I'm not worried about that. But that's why you gotta get top pick, because if you want to get a Giannis,
let's go to BK's thing. He wants to do the rating thing, and then we'll
right.
get back to the draft.
All right. So inside
bad.
the NBA over here, man, and they access is NBA is the inside the NBA to blame for the NBA's ratings decline, man. And you hear these guys like Chuck and Shaq, and it's not just them. It's a lot of other old guys trashing today's players, not really like breaking the game down and explaining to people why they actually have to do this, like I do. Like, hey, why these players got to shoot 3-pointers and everything, man. Why the game is actually played like this. And they'll say, oh, well, they don't play no defense at all. I mean, well, I can show you thousands of clips of players playing defense. You just got better offensive weapons today, man. Like KD's a hard matchup. You could be the best player in the world, man, but if you're like Jose Alvarado, you're not guarding Kevin Durant, man. I'm sorry. What's your whole take on this, man, on the NBA ratings decline and Charles Barkley and inside the NBA trashing today's players?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, you, Pete. I gave my take, so I'll let you go.
Yeah, man, I have no idea what's going on with the ratings. I wish I knew. I'm not the person to ask for this one. I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked because I think the NBA was on the rise for a little bit. The NFL always beats the NBA, but the fact it's just fell off a cliff. I don't know if it's like a young stars thing. I don't know if there's a lot of mediocre teams. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
But you have parity, right? We don't know who's going to win the championship this year. It could.
I don't
We
think we
can't
want
say
parity
it's
though.
definitively Boston. It could be Cleveland. It could be. There's a lot of teams in the mix. So we had like a different champion for the last 5 or 6 something years. So there's parity there. But you got these guys over here trashing today's players, man. The players are not that good, and they're too soft, and they're supposed to
do they
be.
affect you watching the game though?
No, not me. I mean, I understand the game at a cellular level. I understand why like these guys have to shoot a lot of threes today. I support it. But these old guys over here don't support it. I'm talking about the Barclays right here and the Shaquille O'Neals. And for like the last 10 years, they've been constantly trashing the NBA, and then propping up their generation. Like their generation was actually better than this generation, which is categorically not true.
I think the worry, though, like I said, BK, I think there's worry that the NBA is becoming too corporate and mechanical, like the three-point shot. Not a lot of players care about regular season anymore. It's always about playoffs. This mid-cup thing, the ratings and the ticket sales really went downhill once the 4 teams that advanced were mostly middle-market teams. So the NBA
why was the cup so popular last year and then it dropped this year? What's the difference?
I guess the
I don't know.
Lakers. You know what it was? Lakers Warriors weren't in the finals, and those are the 2 teams that ESPN, Pete, always talk about. Every time you watch ESPN First Take, it's like Lakers Warriors. And it's like, what about the other teams?
They're the major markets, right?
Yeah, but the Lakers are their market's kind of going downhill. Biz LeBron's almost out. When he's out, David's not going to want to stay. Who are they going to build around? Austin Reeves. If I think Austin Reeves is the next franchise guy, listen, that's when the NBA's got to start pulling plugs on some of these teams. You got to give certain teams the accreditation that they should get, like the Cavs. They're not even talking about the Cavs this season. I think I've even heard maybe 1 or 2 things about their season.
Jay actually makes a good point. I don't want to get too political on the show. YouTube doesn't like it when I go political, especially me. When I go political, they don't like it. But yeah, Jay actually really, really kind of makes a really, really good point right there, man. But like YouTube always kind of like demonetizes.
But BK, what do these things have to do with making the All-Star game better, especially the dunk contest? We have technology.
I mean, he's right though. There's a lot going on in just in this economy, right? All right, let me be quiet. I mean,
but BK, like, how can they make the All-Star game like the dunk contest? We have so much technology. We have all these harnesses and all this fun, like exciting things to make the dunk contest better. And they had to find guys from the G League a year or 2 ago, like that Mac guy. I'm just like, wow, you really can't get these guys to do crazy dunk tricks to get the buzz up. Because the dunk contest is one of the most exciting things about the All-Star game, and now it's like they don't even do it anymore.
What else can you really do, man? I mean, it's just sometimes. What type of new dunks can you do that hasn't been done already, man?
Did they get rid of the dunk contest, Pete? Did they get rid of the dunk contest or something?
No. They still have it. But think about this, right? Before we didn't have like iPhones to watch highlights and stuff. So if you wanted to see VC dunk, right? If your team wasn't playing the Raptors or the Nets or whoever, like you'd probably have to see the the dunk contest, right? I think that's a big difference. That now dunks are kind of like, okay, we see it every game. If I want to see my favorite player dunk on another team, I could just Google it
instead of having to watch it on television. That's This is exactly what I was saying before you got on, Pete. I mean, I don't know if they're counting like a lot of people's giving up cable because cable is like, to me, I was paying like how much, $250 a month. I'm like, what? I don't hardly watch it. I'm always on YouTube anyway. So I got rid of cable and I have YouTube TV now. So I don't know if they really kind of counting that. Or there's Fubo TV, there's all these other streaming. And then when Jay talks about the economy, right? A lot of people can't afford cable right now, man. I mean, unless you get it like on the first year where it's cheap, but then like after that first year, they kind of really like jack the prices up on you. But most people like I know are streaming. They got rid of cable, man. And I don't know if Nielsen is really kind of counting the ratings, but all the arenas I see are full. You know, the Nets, despite how bad they are, I mean, the arenas are full.
They're at like 99% almost every game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Brooklyn fans are loyal like that. They've been through the highs and lows. That you know what the Brooklyn market is like. When you have those high moments, you enjoy and treasure them. But all those low moments, it's a journey. And unfortunately, with the bottom tier teams that never get talked about, their organization just haven't put enough effort into revitalizing it and making it more attractive. But the NBA at the same time doesn't do its job in trying to give them a helping hand here or there. They just
So,
let
yeah,
them
obviously
sink.
the league pass. I mean, even the league pass is cheap. Was it like it's $200 for the whole season for the whole year? That's nothing, man.
Pete, what are your thoughts on this tournament thing? Do you like it or do you not like it? Katie said he hates it. He says he wished they just go back to the East versus West. Like, what do you think their thought process was on this 4-team Euro style tournament thing?
That you got to do anything to try to get ratings up.
Jeez.
It's dead ratings. You got to do anything. What I want to see, and I would watch the All-Star game if they did this, bring back the players wearing their team's jerseys, East versus West. So if a net makes it, he wears a Brooklyn jersey instead of wearing an East jersey. I want to see that.
I like that. I would like that too. I think they should get back to a little bit of nostalgia. Even with the dunk contest, like these guys should be willing to want to do crazy. Like John Morant, you should be in the dunk contest every year, man. You don't want to do a regular season, All-Star weekend. That's when you should be doing the crazy ass things.
Listen, it's not ESPN is part of the problem. I concur, but it's also these guys like Charles Barkley and Shaq, man, constantly trashing today's
People
players.
don't care
man.
about what they say.
Yeah, they do, man. They of course they do. Especially like I'm 46 years old. Hold on, Pete. I'm 46 years old, man. There's a lot of guys in my generation that.
Love you, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
You got you there, BK.
Man.
I'm just messing with you.
I know. I'm just. That's why I'm laughing, man. But that's what I'm saying. Great job picking. Well, I wouldn't say it's a good, great job picking topic, man. But it's I mean, there was only 10 people in the live, so Harlem always tells me, "Yo, BK, you gotta switch it up." So, nah, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Shut up, man. That's why I'm doing this, and you're just watching. But I kind of did this on the random though, man. I fell asleep and then these old guys. So again, today's players more skilled than the guys back in the days, right? We never seen a player like Kevin Durant, in the early 90s. We never seen a player like Luka, Giannis, right? I mean, here's a 7-footer that like NBA guards like who have lightning fast hands, they can't even strip him, man. We never even seen that. Can Kareem Abdul dribble the ball up the court 94 feet, put pressure on the defense? No, so it's a lot of guys that are trying to stay relevant, man. Just die off, man. You guys
just die off.
Wow.
Not literally, I'm just saying, like, stop trying to keep your generation alive, man. I mean, the NBA's evolved. Things evolve,
And
man.
Go die.
Yeah. All right. Pete, there seems to be a huge disparity between mid-range shots and three-point shots. I mean, the three-point shot has gone up exponentially this season, and it seems like the mid-range shot is being questioned by some as potentially going off the beaten path and not being as relevant anymore because teams care about, analytics and all that. But do you feel like that's kind of what's killing the game a bit, or is it just strategy on these players wanting to save their best stuff for the playoffs where they could be a bit more unpredictable? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think the tic-tac fouls like really slows down the game, and it's just frustrating. And I think that might be, if I had to pick something, that would be one thing I would look at.
Right.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
It's like
I mean, they want more freedom of movement. That's the thing,
Nah, Pete, you remember that game we had against the Magic a few weeks ago? It was a Sunday, and there were like 70 fouls in that game. I mean, the first quarter, I literally went outside to do yard work because there were like 10 to 13 fouls in that first quarter alone.
Well, in the playoffs historically, and even like when they were calling all the ticky-tack fouls in the regular season, the playoffs they swallowed the whistles. And that's where you see James Harden really struggles because he don't get those calls like he did in the regular season. His back in even when they were calling a lot of ticky-tack fouls. So if they can make it like that, like how the referees swallow the whistle in the playoffs and like they do in the regular season, that could help.
Baby.
Yeah. I mean, you know that. I mean, James Harden, like in his Houston days, he would try to initiate the contact, and referees wasn't giving him those calls, man, in the playoffs.
Yo, I got a theory I want to throw out. Do you
Yeah.
think that maybe because you have Cleveland and OKC, two of the top teams, not in a big market, that affects the ratings compared if this was like the Knicks and the Lakers?
That's very interesting.
Yeah, but like David Stern really started in terms of he didn't market teams, he marketed players. That's where the NBA really exploded at. You know, it wasn't like they used to try to do the teams, but they would market a Michael Jordan. So even if you lived in like Houston, you were a Michael Jordan fan, you know, not just a Chicago Bulls
Yeah,
fan.
but if Shai was on the Lakers, though, you don't think that the ratings would be jumped up?
Pete, I had a good question for you. Wembanyama, it seems like he's kind of gone under the radar a lot this season. Last season, they were talking about that kid almost every day on ESPN. This season, it seems like they barely ever mention him. Like, is that a problem? Because he was supposed to be the next big thing, and now you talk about this aged kid 2 years down the line. Do you feel like the NBA has kind of mismanaged Wemby in a sense this season? Because he barely gets mentioned now.
Well, they don't really control who like ESPN talks about, right? I think it's more of like seen it, done it. But I think if you put him on the Knicks, I think he'd be on the poster board and we wouldn't be able to walk outside without seeing his face, right? Like, I think because he's on the Spurs, it makes a big difference, right?
Yeah, I mean, the league is not. I mean, you have a lot of injuries, though. Star Traffic. You said the league is not competitive. It's just injuries right now, man. It's just, you know, I don't know if you could blame the league for that. It's just, you know.
Oh, they were horrible. The injuries were crazy this season. And with Jordy's boot camp, I'm surprised the bigs couldn't handle the weights, man, and the hamstrings popped. That was wild to see. Like, these guys got to get the regiment programs better.
Like I said, this is guys are way more athletic, man. You look at Charles Oakley, right? Back in the day, you don't have to expend so much energy guarding him. He wasn't putting the ball on the floor and you know, jumping from the dotted line, dunking on people, and you know, those guys are easy to guard. They didn't put that much pressure on your knees, you know. But like trying to guard Ja Morant, like I said, and you have to guard him. They don't want to hear he's dynamic, he's too quick. And if you're a big man and you get switched on, like you're Day'Ron Sharp, yeah, you better stay with Ja Morant. They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear that. You better at least contain them to 2 dribbles. You know, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. Or you know, you're not going to be in the league. And that's where you get all these injuries coming from, man. That's why I said when we were talking about Zion, I said no, his weight, right, is just not. That doesn't translate into today's NBA.
He's got to get healthier, BK. He's got to get healthier. I mean, the food regimen they got him on, it's just wild that they let him go and he let himself
it's just
go.
His size, man. Like they're going to constantly target him. I mean, unless he could fight through the picks, which he should be able to, you can fight through screens. You know, you don't have to get picked off all the time where you get those switches. But I mean, if he is going to get into like those switches where you get a guard on you, then I mean he's gonna have a lot of injuries, man, because it's tough as a big guy to slide your feet and stay with Ja Morant. You know,
Pete,
that's one example.
Pete, if you were a GM and you actually were thinking about maybe trying to revive Zion's career, what would you realistically offer the Pelicans right now, given what you've seen with Zion from what he didn't do to where he is right now? Like, what would you try to give a team as like your offer for him potentially?
Yeah, JP is still LeBron James, unfortunately, man. That's all people care about is LeBron. You know, so LeBron right now is still the face of the league.
For Zion, I know there's a thing in his contract that said if he's like over a certain weight, you could void the contract. I'd have to look at the contract, but I'm saying if he's overweight now or close to that marker that you could void the contract, I think I would need, first of all, I think you need to get picks back just to take the contract because it's so huge. And the guy has proven he's not healthy. You know, I'm not going to take that big contract in if the dude's not healthy. So that means you got to pay me.
Nah, that's very interesting because I was talking with Dylan about it, and he said maybe offer Nick Claxton like 3 first-round draft picks in the offseason with Zion. I'm like, Why? I'm like, why have to offer that? My lowball offer would be you take Ben Simmons and you take a first, and I'm being generous. I give you free cap space and a pick because Zion, like you said, unhealthy. You know what his hamstrings, what that situation is, and there's a lot of red flags. Like if I'm taking a gamble on him when his years are non-guaranteed, I'm only giving you like a pick for the guy. I'm not going to give you 2-3 picks. And Nick Claxton, like you're going to take my lowball offer because there's no telling if Zion's going to be healthy or engaged if he landed with Brooklyn or any other team right now. So your offer is very interesting. Maybe the team that offers something should get even more compensation for Zion.
John,
That's
this is the issue with this. All right, if you're the Pelicans, you say I need picks. I used like a first overall pick on this guy, and I paid him. I don't want to just have to give up assets to get off it. At the very least, I'm just gonna. If I'm losing, I'm gonna stick with him, and maybe he gets it right. You know what I mean? He gets the value up, and then I can get something. I'm not gonna give it up. It's the same thing like us and Ben now, right? We're not gonna. We could get off the contract if we wanted to, but why? You might as well just wait it out. And with them, they have more years, but maybe they can get something out of it eventually. They're not winning anyway.
That's why I was sending Ben home after the deadline. If you can't find nobody for him, just send him home for 2 months.
Ben Simmons making an all-star. I seen something on Facebook, Pete. I don't know if you saw it. That Ben could make an all-star team this year. I was
what?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Did you vote for him? Did you vote for him to be an all-star? BK, I know you voted for him, and you all voted.
Nah, I need to see the numbers. If he can get to like 16 points a game, yeah, I would vote for him. But
16 points.
Not averaging 6 points a game. Nope. I love Ben. I mean, I love his game because I love in terms of passing and setting screens, basketball IQ. He can get you if he's healthy, 6 to 8 points without being so ball centric, like offensive rebound putbacks. Right, he can switch on to onto a big. Right, so let's say Jaren Jackson Jr. can torch smaller guards, man. If they but at least Ben Simmons can give some resistance there. So yeah, I do value Ben. It's just all he has to do is shoot the damn basketball, man. That's it.
He won't, unfortunately, and that's why thank gosh we're getting off the contract.
Yeah, jump shots. I've seen it in practice. I mean, I've seen him do come off screens, right? Shoot threes, move without the basketball. I'm like, wait, where's this Ben at in the game over here, man? I gotta find the footage though. I was like, wait a minute, is this the same Ben Simmons? Is he a clone? Is something going on here? He's actually coming off picks and screens. It's if he can do this, I mean, shit, he's actually the best player in the NBA. But he's not doing it though.
Shifting gears on Simmons for a second, Pete. Nick Claxton had another one of his signature emotional outbursts, and we gave this guy $100 million. What is going on with Nick Claxton? If he doesn't want to be here, why is he trying to show more effort to improve his value and instead is doing the exact opposite thing you're not supposed to do, which is tank your own value and isolate yourself from the team? What is Nick Claxton thinking right now, since we were generous enough to give him money when he has no accolades to his name right now?
I think he's just playing. I don't think he's trying to get away. I just think he just got pissed off. He's frustrated, and he threw a ball into the stands.
But he's done this more than 8 times already, though.
Exactly. That's who he is. That's the guy. That's his.
Yeah, no, he was way more disciplined though than this. It seems like without, I guess, stars on his team, he's kind of doing whatever he wants to do.
I mean, it could be his role too. He doesn't get the ball as much, right? I mean,
he wants all the time. He just doesn't get to score the ball.
Yeah, he doesn't get the score. He probably wants a more expanded role. Now he figured with Jordy Fernandez, it could be different, right? But it's not. Again, you have to be efficient, man. I mean, look how many times you watch these games. I'm gonna try to put a video confirmation together, right? Because I wanted to really talk about efficiency. And when you miss a shot, right, these guys are leaking out and getting a 3-point shot, and sometimes it's 3 possessions in a row. You miss a shot and you don't get back on defense, and these guys just come back and get an easy 2-point basket or 3. So you gotta be able to actually make shots, man. You have to make them at a high clip. You can't be missing a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, Claxton just can't work on that.
I see JP says, what will happen if the Nets go on a winning streak? BK, Jonathan will lose his mind.
JP, if that happens, we're not the Brooklyn Nets anymore. We're the Brooklyn Sharks at that point.
My thing is, it's I'm 50-50 on getting rid of Ben and Cam Johnson and all these veterans. That's including Cam Thomas. Oh, wait, Pete, did you see my thumbnail on the last one? What do you think of big three: Ben Simmons, Cam Johnson, and Cam Thomas, man? Just in case the draft doesn't work out.
Please no.
I know that someone told me that Ben is probably going to be here for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I've been said that
for the rest of the year. CJ, a couple people I talked to expect to be traded. CJ Holmes told me that he expects to be trade Cam Johnson, even though I told him that I'm not sure 100%. He seemed pretty confident.
Shout out to CJ, man. That's my guy.
CJ is like the next guy up. CJ's the next guy up. He was the first guy on Jordy Fernandez, I think. He was the first guy who mentioned Jordy Fernandez to me.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. What about with Dorian Finney-Smith, though? Pete, what do you hear about with Dorian Finney-Smith?
This is what I'm trying to say. Like all my years of watching the NBA, and as many, like there's a lot of fans that hate Ben, Kawhi Leonard. Like these players, like don't grow on trees. You're not gonna just give up. Like Greg Oden, right? I mean, he had a knee injury, right? The Trailblazers try to give him chance after chance after chance after chance, right? Brandon Roy was another one I'm actually thinking of, right? They didn't just, you got an injury. No, we're gonna just get rid of you, man. These are like certain type of players that you just can't, like, there's no 6'11" point guards really. And well, maybe, there's no 6'11" point guards in the draft this year or next year. But
BK, you also got to understand, NBA is a business at the end of the day. You can only wait so long for a guy to get back to a certain level,
like
and if they never can.
That's a 6'11" shooting guard, man.
Right,
you're not going to just give up on that easily. You're not. They waited for Michael Porter Jr. for 3 years, damn near.
All right, but we talk about the Clippers, BK. They traded their whole future away in Shea and 7 picks with Paul George, who gave them nothing. James Harden's now on their team, and you can never know with him. He's playing good this season. I'm surprised. His numbers aren't anywhere close to where he was in Houston, but they're respectable more towards Philly before that whole drama fiasco happened. But at the end of the day, they're waiting for Kawhi to come back, and he might not come back. He might come back, and who knows how long he'll play. The Clippers are in a tough position because they're an inevitable rebuild team. I know they got the new dome because of Bomber, but you do not have any draft picks left. Your cap space situation is pretty bad. Like, what can you really do with that team besides just rotate, minimum vets at that point? Like, that's not a formula.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't want us to be those guys, man. I don't want us to be the Washington Wizards and you just trade.
That's why you got to draft well. That's why you got to draft well. You can't draft 10 or 11. You draft top 5.
I mean, you don't know what these guys are going to be like, man.
But how do we not know that Cade Cunningham could be like a superstar? Like, how do we not know?
I'm talking about, like, look at Killian Hayes, right? Wasn't he picked like number 8, right?
Something like that. I think you're right.
Zaire Williams, right? Pick number 10. That's not like a 20. I mean, and look at him. He's fighting for his NBA life right now, man. We don't even know what Zaire Williams is. I mean, he's not a 2.
He's a good defender. Not a 4. Zaire's a good defender.
I'm talking about skill-wise, Jonathan. Damn it.
He's worked on his three-point shot a little bit. It's not perfect. Listen. His three-point shot is still not good, but he had some moments this season where he showed the offensive potential. The Celtics. Remember those 2 blocks he had in the Pelicans game against Trey Murphy and Ingram? That won you the game right there because of his defense. Come on, BK.
Stop.
You see this, Pete? He doesn't want to hear the facts. He just wants to hear his own facts.
No, because what we got to do is compare him to other top small forwards. Don't
compare me to Giannis. Please don't compare me to Giannis. Please.
I didn't say I said small forwards. I didn't say power forwards or centers.
Yo, BK, I want to show you something. Can I DM you something for you to put up on the StreamYard?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna DM it to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Exactly, JP. Thank you. Please tell Jonathan this. There's a reason why Zaire is not on Memphis, and I seen him in preseason. He's not that good of a
JP, he didn't have a role in that team. You had a core already, and he couldn't fit that core.
Man, I seen him. He doesn't listen. He turned the back. He is not comfortable with the basketball in his hands, man.
But he's comfortable being a hard-nosed, blue-collar defender. I mean, you can't
offense. He's not going to stop every single player.
BK, he represents Jordy's culture right now, and he's showing you some things. Come on, BK, you can't just act like the guy has no value to our team right now. He's a hard-nosed defender, and he can give you rebounding too.
He's a good role player, man. I mean, but again,
yeah, he's a good role player. That's it. I'm not saying he's a superstar or star, but you have to acknowledge what he's shown you a bit this season.
What position does he have in the league?
Still trying to figure that out, but I definitely could see him. I could see him as a small forward potentially, but I don't see him as a 2. I don't see him as a 1.
Forwards have to be able to dribble the ball, right? Which he's not a good ball handler. They need to be able to shoot the basketball, which he's not a good shooter, and he needs to be able to pass the basketball, right?
No, you're right. But with more time and development, I think you'll see it. Jordy has something going well with him. He even said, like, I like the way this team coaches me. They get in my face. They tell me what I need to hear. Like, he wasn't getting that in Memphis.
I mean, if not, he's going to be out the league, man. He doesn't have it.
Right, but BK, you understand that some players need different situations. Not every team, when you first get drafted, may not be the right team for you. Sometimes it takes a second
you
or third
need
team
to
to get it
work
right.
on your game, man.
But BK, what if the coaching staff doesn't value your game as much as these other players, like the John Morants, Desmond Baines, and Jaren Jackson Jr.'s? Like, obviously, Zaire doesn't stack up to those guys on that team. Why he didn't get a lot of minutes?
Here's what Zaire needs to go see, man. Let me see.
Yo, put up the picture I sent you, bro. Come on.
1 second. Hold on.
Wow.
I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. I'm looking for it. I was looking for it. I didn't see it.
I DM. It's in your Twitter.
Oh, hold on. This is who he has to go see right here, man. All right, that's who Zaire Williams have to go see.
Live?
Yeah, man. You go watch his videos, man.
Pete, is he for real right now with this? He's telling that a professional player is to go watch a YouTuber. Is this what I'm hearing?
No, he's really good. He used to be on the And One. That's the professor.
You don't know who he is? Wow,
of course, bro.
John, no. Pete does. Is Jonathan doesn't actually know who he actually is.
Oh, BK, I'm all over social media, but maybe there's 1 or 2 blanks I have in my head sometimes. BK,
Dude, man, this guy's a legend in the basketball culture, man.
Thank you, Pete. See,
it's an And One. When And One used to do all the street ball tournaments, this was like one of the white guys on it, and he's very good. He's not NBA level good, but like he does tricks and stuff. He's he could bust anyone's ass that any one of us easily.
Yeah, but Zaire needs to just focus on his game. I don't think he needs to go watch the YouTube videos. Like, you could for fun and stuff like that, but I think Zaire is in a good position right now. He's with a coach that actually believes in him. I think that's what people always enjoy this season. If he believes in you, it seems like it just makes these players go up a step or 2 on their games, and that's why you have to have investment in your players a little bit. Like the vets, they got to go, but the young guys, they need that.
Let me just show Jonathan. This is what Zaire Williams actually has to go and learn over here, man. Some good ball handling, all right? This is what he actually has to go learn, how to be an excellent ball handler, man. And Professor, he can actually go right to him right now and learn how to dribble the damn basketball and also shoot the basketball.
So what about Coach Jordan? Does he have a say in this, or does Coach Jordan have to tell him, go watch Professor live? Is that what you're going to tell me? No, I'm being serious though. Listen, I understand this guy knows a lot of tricks. Good for him. But at the end of the day, Zaire only cares about one guy, and that's Coach Jordy telling him exactly how he needs to play. And you have seen some of that from Zaire this season. I want to see more. I hope he comes back soon because I feel like he fits our system really well right now. So I think you definitely got to see more on offense. But he's shown you defensively, he's way better on defense than he was with Memphis. And that's because he gets
always good on defense, man. He was known for that. Let me put this up.
Not as good as he is right now. I mean, his defense has just gone up a step or 2 on here.
Oh gosh, man. Yeah, let me see him do it to the top guys. He
did to Ingram, the guy that some people want to sign.
Right?
He blocked Ingram at the rim. Don't you remember we blocked Murphy and Ingram at the rim? He's the reason the Nets won that game because he had lockdown defense at the end of the 4th quarter.
All right, so this is what Pete sent me over here, man.
Interesting.
What do you think, Jonathan?
I want to get the number 3 pick right now. I feel like this is the best way to be right now because if we get the 1 or 2, everybody's going to be questioning us over why did you draft Cooper over Ace? Why did you draft Ace over Harper? Why did you draft Harper over Bolton? If we get the 3rd pick, we get either one of those guys. If we get the 3rd pick, we get out one of those guys. That's the best type of low blowback you'll get if you get the 3rd pick. So imagine we get Dylan Harper without having to get the 1st pick. Because obviously Utah and Washington, if they get two top picks, they want to sell tickets. They're going to choose Ace and Cooper, even though skill set wise, Harper's running the gauntlet right now. But if we get him, hey, our rebuild just went up like 10 levels right there. So I think the third pick is your best option. But just like Pete says, you want to get one of these top 5 bottom picks selections right here. You don't want to be 8, 9, 10, or 11. You want to be top 5. You don't want to be 6, 7, and 8. And that's up to Sean Marks to control a little bit of where we land by making sure the vets are off this team soon. Unless you want to be mediocre.
Well, they just got rid of Schroeder and they just won again. You know what I mean?
Well, that's Mr. Cam Johnson, man.
Clax got ejected and we had no Schroeder and we still won.
Yeah, but
that's ridiculous.
You know what it is, though? You keep playing these guys at the end of the fourth quarter. This is where Marks has to tell Jordy, I know you want to win, but rest Johnson and Doe. Let these young guys get those minutes and see what happens. If the young guys play well and you win that fourth quarter,
I'd say, fuck you, I'm the coach.
But
you hired me to do a job, so I'm going to do it.
No, I understand it, and thank you for telling me to F myself. I appreciate that. But I'm the manager. I'm the manager at the end of the day, and I pay your bills, Coach Jordy. So you do what I want.
You're not Joe. I think Joe signs my pay actually.
Yeah, but I was part of the hiring process. So and Joe Desai loves me. Joe Desai has given me.
So fire me.
He's giving me immunity on this team.
Yo, didn't I say that? Hold on. I said.
Oh no, PK, don't say that, please.
You see, Jonathan, you thought I was crazy when I said fire Jordy Fernandez if he doesn't want to go.
You are, because he's not going anywhere. Yes, Jordy has put the pieces of the puzzle together, but
no. I'm saying if he listen, if you want him to tank and he doesn't want to tank and he's not with the actual program, fire him. I'm not saying I don't want to see him fired. I'm just saying.
PK, all you got to do is get Johnson Doe off this team. Or you got Denzel on the team. Those 3 vets have been very incremental in a lot of these wins alongside Thomas. You take those 3 guys out, it just
if I'm Jordy Fernandez, I don't gotta play them in the fourth quarter, man. I don't know what's Jordy's problem. I don't know why he doesn't see the bigger picture. I agree with you, Jonathan. I'm not disagreeing with you, but you don't have to. You don't have to play Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter. You don't have to play Cam Johnson in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but you also have to talk to your team. It's gonna be like, okay, so you're absolutely sandbagging us by putting in Tyrese Martin at point guard instead of Ben Simmons or what, you know what I mean?
We know Ben doesn't have anything to really prove. If he's healthy, we know what he can do.
Forget about it. You take a player and you put in a rookie instead of putting in your best lineup. You take out CJ and you make it obvious, the players lose respect for you then. They know what's going on also, but there's got to be a balance to it. You can't go all tank.
Right, I understand, Pete, and we've done the competitive stuff. We won a few games here and there, but this is now where it's up to Mark.
You and Pete go at it, because I'm trying to explain this to Jonathan, and he doesn't really seem to understand it. But
me and Pete are cool on the perspective. I think our goals are pretty similar to getting a top pick. It's just I understand the balance. I understand Jordy has a system, and I'm not going to fault him for this because he is setting great principles for this team, great principles, and an actual structure that we've been missing since Kenny Atkinson. But this is where it's up to Marks to be you got to make the deal at a certain point. Marks should not wait to the deadline to trade Johnson and Doe. Middle January at the earliest. You wait all the way to the deadline, and this team wins maybe 6 or 7 more games. Your odds just go down the tank in getting a top pick. So this is up to Marks to get these guys out of here and let Jordy keep coaching. But, Jordy's telling you, if you keep these guys on the team, I'm going to win games. And if Marks can't, handle that, and Marks should be the GM next year. Let's remember, guys, he's competing for a contract too. This is his last year, his contract. So if anybody's got the most to lose this season, it's him.
Who?
So let me read this.
No, Sean Marks is good. He's on the last year of a deal, possibly. We're not really 100% sure. But the fact of the matter is you went to tank this year. So that means you could lose all the games and you're fine. Because that was the game plan.
So, yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
But we're winning games.
And you look at odds of drafting an all-star, right? So the further you go down, the worse it actually really gets. Look at Şengün. Şengün is the best player out of his draft class, man. And he was picked number 13 or 14.
Yeah, but listen, the fact is, the lower the pick, the better the pick. You know what I mean? The better the player usually, right? We could all say that.
Right. No, seriously. Right. And we're the golden BK, we have our own pick. The idea is to improve that value as much as possible. Like, if Sean Marks actually botches this up, I won't re-sign him next year. I'll say, Sean, hit the curb. Because you had control of your own pick and you botched it that horribly. Like, you have a good opportunity to reset the organization even more than you already did with the
Well,
KD
he's
and
trying to
Bridges
do it.
trades.
It's not like he's not trying.
I know he's not trying, but waiting all the way to the deadline, that's going to make me iffy, especially if the Nets could
But
sneak
you're
in a
not
few
going to
more wins here.
listen. Other teams are looking at us. They say, "Hey, we know you want to get rid of CJ." Like, they're not stupid, right? They're probably also lowballing. Also,
Thank you. I was telling Jonathan that a couple of weeks ago. It's a tug of war.
I understand
Exactly.
tug of war,
It's a leverage
but
matter.
I understand the leverage thing,
That's
but
what I was
ultimately,
explaining this to Jonathan like 2 weeks ago, and it went over his head.
it didn't go in my head. BK, I understand the negotiation process. It could take some time, but given the way Johnson's playing, you can get a good deal in a week or two if a team really
How
wants
do you
him.
know that? We don't know that.
Thank you.
How about the West, though? It's super damn competitive. If you're not on top of your game and you don't make the move to get a potential difference
So
maker,
Marks is saying, you know
you get
what?
knocked
I
out.
have a deal in front of me that I like, and I'm just not going to take it.
Listen, this
Right?
is why Marks has to show
Right?
us how he can be flexible, and get what you
But
can
then
get.
he's going to get killed for not getting enough for CJ.
Yeah, but listen, enough is a first and a prospect, or 2 firsts and expiring salary. If the team
What if
based
he's
on the way he's
valued in the
playing,
league for like 2
hold
first
on.
rounders?
He's playing like an all-star right now. Like, he's playing like an all-star,
That's what you say he's playing like. That's what you say. You know Cam Johnson. Okay, so why are you saying what I'm saying is horrible? That's literally what Brooklyn wants: a prospect or a pick.
John Marks is looking at that. He said, "Wait a minute, this guy's playing at literally. I'm not saying like a hypothetical. No, he's playing like an all-star, man. I mean, he's the numbers he's putting up, the efficiency. Like, he's not taking 35 shots to score. Huh?
He's under contract for next year at a lower number.
But 2 more years, yeah.
That's why you look. That's why you look at a team like the Kings, because they're fighting right now.
If you're going to just give him away, I'd rather just keep him. I mean, I'm not giving this guy up.
What if the Kings offered you Kevin Hooter, Devin Carter, the prospect from last year's draft, and 2 first-round picks? You wouldn't take that, BK? If that was the best you get? It should be. I know the Kings are in conversations with us.
If you're the Kings, why would I do that when I know that the Nets want to get rid of CJ badly? Why would I offer that?
Exactly.
Well, the Kings are in a hole right now, Pete. They're supposed to be in top 5. Remember what DeMar DeRozan said? We're Western Conference Finals, and he's been abysmal on that team. Like, the Kings are probably the one team I'm hoping will want to make a move like that as soon as possible, because they're in the 12th seed right now. They're almost up to 30 games already? 30, 40 games? No, 30 games. Like, they're already at the evaluation stage where if they're not clicking now, by the end of Christmas.
Does CJ put them over the top, though, Jonathan? No.
Probably not, but that's why they got to make a move. But listen, they have De'Aaron Fox, their best player on the team.
So you just said it doesn't put them over the top.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Their problem is Fox could potentially go for nothing in 2026 if they don't make him happy. Different stars on a team, you got to make them happy. At the end of the day, Johnson gives them a boost. I don't know if
the money is really like
also, is CJ's gonna make him stay?
Who knows? But at the end of the day, that's their gamble and our value.
They'd rather wait for a star to try to pair with him.
But who's going to go to the Kings right now if they're not showing you they can compete for much? That's
they
what
need another spinner. They need like one more like high end like role player on that team.
Well, we have Johnson and Doe.
I don't know who it is.
The other.
It's hard to do it with like 2 players and then like mediocre role players. I think to be decent, they need one more high-end role player. Maybe
they need a number 3.
Yeah, exactly. They just need another 3.
That DeMar DeRozan move backfired epically. They went from Pascal Siakam to DeRozan, and he looks like he's lost a few steps. And his mid-range game, it doesn't work with their system. Like, this is why the 3-point thing is kind of hurting the Kings, because their 3-point shooting ain't that good. And DeRozan, he's mostly a mid-range guy. And Sabonis, he doesn't make threes like at a high level. So it's really a mixed 3 they got. Like, it's not as complimentary as they thought it was going to be. That's why a Johnson move could give them a boost right now. But let's see. Like you said, they don't have to make the offer if they feel like they can keep Fox. But they're scratching right now for something.
At this point, right? What would you just give up Cam Johnson for nothing? Get rid of Ben Simmons. Get rid of DFS for pennies on a dollar. All these guys for pennies on a dollar. Try to sit Ben Simmons down and try to go for broke in this draft, or would you keep these guys and what would you do?
Johnson and Doe got to go, and you're going to get a first for
Well,
Johnson.
Pete, hold on, man. You're cutting them off. I'll get to you.
I didn't know you asked Pete. I know you asked Pete.
It's all good. It's all good. I didn't know he asked me either. So
Yeah, that's what. Thank you, Pete. Come on, BK.
okay.
Get me
It's
specific,
hard, bro. When you don't have like a picture, I mean, like the video of your face, it's hard to tell who you're talking to.
I said Pete.
Oh, I didn't even
say
hear
that.
my bad.
Yeah.
See, that's my fault.
He didn't say you.
Yeah, no, I was talking really fast, but I did say Pete though. I didn't know.
My bad.
My
What's
words
the
right.
question, BK? My bad, bro.
So, all right. At this point right here, man, what would you actually do to try to like improve? Would you really kind of like get rid of everyone and try to go for broke and try to get this like 1 through 3 pick, or would you keep the role players and just in case they don't get a number 1 through 3 pick, at least you got something to build on and make this team watchable? Because I'm not watching this team with Keon Johnson on the team running the point guard position.
I'm gonna be actually in the middle. I think you trade Doe with the first. You have like a certain deal in mind of like expiring and a first, or like 2 to 3 second rounders, and whoever can do that the quickest and the easiest, I would trade him. I would hold on to CJ to the trade deadline, and I would consider holding on to him. I really would, because I think he's gonna have better value come the off season.
Yeah. Because at least you know, right? Like just in case if you get a 1 through 3 pick, right? Then I would say, all right, because that's only one player, man.
I'm more listen. If I get a deal for CJ, I'm trading him. I'm more tank. I don't think we can get the value for what I think he's.
Yeah, and even though he's putting up these numbers, I'm trying to explain to Jonathan before you came on. He just started doing this, right? We need a large sample size, like Drew Holiday, right? Has a lot, like a
it's the injuries that concern me.
Huh? Yeah, injuries
concerns me more than
anything. And
he looks healthy right now. I mean, you can always change your diet around.
That's why you got to trade him when his value's high, because you don't know when he's going to get another leg injury.
No, what I'm saying is that listen, teams want to see a larger sample size, right? They want to see a large sample size of for years. If Cam Johnson was playing like this for the last 2-3 years,
he's 28 though, BK.
I know, but he just started playing like this. Who's to say that
last year? You can make an argument that maybe he would have played better if he wasn't hurt.
Maybe
he wasn't horrible last year, if I remember correctly.
I tell you,
he was inconsistent. He had
good games from 3, not horrible.
Yeah, no. I mean, we didn't see this though. I'm talking about like the up and under, him posting up smaller guys, putting the ball on the floor, dribbling with confidence. I was like, "What?" I said, "Wait a minute."
It's also the system.
Yeah. Even confidence, right? I mean, I don't think Jody Fernandez is. If Cam Johnson makes a mistake, I remember watching a New Jersey Nets game when they had Marshawn Brooks there. And Marshawn Brooks made a mistake, and there was Avery Johnson there. And Avery Johnson, the arena was quiet. He started yelling and screaming at him, and that can cause you like to overthink the game, right? Because I'm coaching now. I'm coaching these 11 and 12-year-old girls in this league where I live at, and they make a mistake. I don't yell at them. I say, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're kids, but I'm saying they're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You could tell them something. Even that I have like 10 of them, so it's like 5 good ones and 5 like okay ones and 2 bad.
What do you call BK? I'm looking up CJ's per 36 minute stats. He's put up similar numbers before in small sample sizes. In 22, 23, in 42 games, he put up similar numbers. 17 games with Phoenix before he got traded to us, he had similar numbers to what he's putting up now. You know what I mean? Like that's
why I always like Cam Johnson. That's why I always love Cam Johnson. I've seen this in Phoenix, and small spurts. But
also,
now
you know what? He's not a power forward.
Yeah, no, he's not. Well, the thing about him being at the 4 position is that most of the 250-pound guys don't want to guard the perimeter, so that gives him more of an advantage, right? And again, like being a small forward, you need really, really good ball handling skills, not mid. You have to have really, really good ball handling skills good passing. The shooting he already had, but it's really more the playmaking and the actual ball handling. So I think that's why they put him as a power forward, because then, big 250-pound power forwards ain't going to want to guard him out there.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of holes in his game, BK. He's not really a top-notch defender. He's mostly a three-point shooter. And if he goes to a team with a lot of depth, he's probably going to shoot a lot more threes than do mid-range offense. So that's why you want to maybe get good value for him now, because there's no telling how his value will be in 2 years when his contract is expiring.
Because we haven't seen this from him, we haven't seen a large sample size of it, man.
But BK, you're acting like he's a star type player to see a large sample size from. He's a role player. Like, he's giving you good stuff right now.
So is Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a role player.
But Drew Holiday is a two-time NBA. Wait. That's two different levels right there. Drew Holiday's a two-time NBA champion, one of the top-notch defenders in the league. Like, that's way different.
No, he's a role player. He's not a guy you want to.
He's a starter. Though Johnson, you make the argument that Johnson's a bench player on certain nights and not just
listen to what I'm saying. Is Drew Holiday all right? Now, let's take Drew Holiday and say, hey, take us home. We want to run we want to run our offense through you, and you want to lead us.
He's a better defender.
No, listen to what I'm saying, Jonathan. Hold on. Is Drew Holiday a guy we will take on the Brooklyn Nets and say, hey, we want to run our offense through you, lead us to 55 wins?
He was a third star with Giannis and Middleton, BK.
That's the question.
BK, he has a serviceable role on a team as a starter.
Right, we've seen a large sample size of that over the years.
But you're acting like Johnson's on that level, though. Johnson's a main scorer.
Playing like it now. I'm saying he's playing like an all-star right now, like an all-star.
So you want to vote for Johnson being the all-star game, BK? Is that what you're saying?
Pete, help me out here, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's fun busting your chops, Hoops. It really is. What are we talking about? Pete, you said we might hold on to Johnson. I think Nets fans should be a little worried if you hold on to Johnson, because you said we might forego the 2026 draft. If the Nets are looking to make a crazy big move after this draft, Johnson is a salary piece that you can throw out there with your draft assets. So maybe Nets fans should feel a little unsure of themselves if we do keep Johnson, because if you trade him, you don't have to worry about that. But if you keep him, you got to worry what Sean Marks could do this summer. So there's a little worry there potentially with keeping Johnson. In fairness,
I don't think
so.
It's no worry.
Why would you want to keep Cam Johnson, Pete?
Why would I want to keep him? It's just getting value that I feel like everyone knows that they want to get rid of CJ. So they're kind of lowballing us in this scenario. So if I feel like I'm being lowballed, then fine, I'll just hold on to him. His salary is going to go down, and more teams will have more assets in the offseason, maybe more cap room, maybe easier to make a deal.
Yeah.
Not a lot of teams do. Most of the teams that have the cap room are bottom teams.
What I was trying to explain to Jonathan like 2 weeks ago, that there's a tug of war. I mean, you don't want to just give him away, right? Because he does have value. And just as much as Mikal Bridges right now, man, if not even better, You think
that.
Yeah.
You think Cam Johnson right now is playing like an all-star though, Pete?
Yeah, definitely. I just think that Mikal Bridges' track record is better than CJ's.
Oh yeah, I'm saying right now. No, not career-wise. I know that. Of course, Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, this year obviously one guy's playing a lot better than the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
even though Bridges is kind of hot now, I saw.
Yeah. But Bridges doesn't give you the post like Cam Johnson's more physical, right? He can, dunk on,
he rarely does that though, BK. We gotta keep
injury. Look at John Morant, man. These guys don't want to get hurt, man.
Now you compare him to John. Oh my God.
No. John Morant doesn't want to dunk the ball, and he doesn't want to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? These guys don't want to have to get knee surgery.
But Johnson's a role guy, though.
Basketball, too. Remember, these guys aren't doing this for like 50 years, man. They're going to retire by the time they're like 35, 38, 39 years old, right? They want to be able to walk and do things with their kids and stuff like that, man. You gotta look at that. You gotta look at that too, though, Jonathan.
So we got to get rid of Johnson as soon as possible because, just like you said, bulky legs. He's a ticking time bomb. I'm ready to trade him right now. Thank you, BK, for finally agreeing with me, man. I so agree with you. Listen, 20 years old. Who knows when that leg's going to break? Get him on somebody else's team right now. We can't handle that.
No,
we need to get younger as a team. Thank you, BK.
Listen, they throw. I shouldn't be saying this shit, man. They throw sugar in everything, right? So like sugar can cause like you have like a lot of injuries. So you never know. He could have been modifying his diet, right? I hear of these players eating McDonald's and Popeyes.
Some players, they have their own chefs. The Nets, I know for a fact, they used to do this. I don't know if they do it now. When players eat something, they have like a food journal that they have to log.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's serious, man.
Anybody want to guess?
I went on a no sugar diet, right? For 30 days, no sugar. And I played like 5 games, and I had no pain after. I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I gotta get more. I gotta do this because 5 games, I'm crawling out of the park, man. You know, I'm at 46 years old, 45, 46 years old, but I had no pain."
Pete, can you guess what Zion's food journal is?
Pizza.
Yo, Easy Eat.
Wow.
Yo, but thank you, Easy Eat. Thank you, man. This has been this has really been a good show. Yeah. But not a lot of people didn't tune in for this one because it's not like the title wasn't a Brooklyn Nets thing. It was really more about the NBA ratings.
The one episode I come in, nobody's here.
Yeah, because I didn't title it. It wasn't nothing pertaining to Brooklyn. It was really more titling about the NBA ratings.
Oh my God, it's almost 5:00.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Listen, good conversations to do that to you, man.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out. I'll see you guys.
All right.
Have a good night, y'all. Good morning, I should say.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And sub to my podcast.
Yeah, sub to Pete's. Yeah, Nets fan, check out his channel over there, man. Pete at Nets fan, check out his channel. I'm gonna have Pete and we're gonna do some more content together in the future. I'll let you know, Pete, because I'm trying to think of a really, really good story where it can draw a lot of people in. This wasn't it right here, man.
Yeah, we're just shooting the shit. I don't care.
Pete, be careful. Pete, be careful. So I do one about Ben Simmons with you, man.
No. Ben, listen, nobody cares about Ben Simmons. Like Ben Simmons and Cam Johnson are like my 2 worst videos when it comes to views now, man. Seriously.
Then why do you want to keep
him? Good morning, y'all.
Then why do you want to keep him then if he's bad for rating? That's why you got to get rid of Johnson. Just like you said, BK, who knows with his leg situation if he's going to be healthy or not.
When we first got him, I mean, I used to get 700-800 views on Cam Johnson videos, but ever since he had like that poor performance last season, I mean, people have a sour taste in their mouths, though.
They just want him off the team, BK, because he's not part of the future. I think that's what the Nets fans, they want to know who will be on this team. And Johnson, Doe are just holding roster spots right now. Like, you rather these young guys go through adversity and maybe pull out a win or 2 when nobody expects it, as opposed to relying on Johnson Doe to get you meaningless wins. That's what wins against Toronto, potential Utah is today. Meaningless, because it's not bettering your future. You're bettering everybody else's future but your own. This is the time where Marks needs to better our future. Stop making every other team better but ours. Like,
yeah, but I mean, you gotta wait and see until you get those guys, man, and you gotta see if you can get into the lottery, right? And remember, it's only one player, man. You need a whole team. This is not boxing. This is
but we got 4 first-round draft picks.
Even if you get Ace Bailey, right? That's one guy, and he's a rookie. One guy and Keon Johnson and Tyrese Martin, that's not going to cut it right there. You need really, really good players, man.
And here's the fun part. You have a head coach. You can turn anybody into a good player. So it's about getting the players in front of Jordan and letting him do what he does, which is pull off some magic. But we have to get to that point. If we're drawing 8 or 9, Sean Marks and his team got to pack their bags and get out of Brooklyn quick. because that was not the goal. The
Nah,
goal was to
easy.
get top 10.
This is actually really a bad stream, man. Like people didn't.
No, it's been a good conversation. What are you talking about? We've had some good conversations
This is
tonight.
a bad stream, man. I might even delete this. I might do like the locker room. I might just delete this or put this on
You better
private.
not delete this with it. I wasted 2 hours, 3 minutes and 10 seconds of counting. I should be resting right now and get ready
Yeah,
to go
no, but
get
I'm
some
saying
lunch tomorrow.
the interest is not there, man. It's kind of embarrassing somewhat, man. You know, like
Interest. BK, you got over 1,000 subscribers now. You're at 1.23, I
you
believe.
still gotta make videos for what those 1,000 subs like to hear, man. You know,
Yeah,
it's
they
not,
want to do
you're not
something
gonna
like
watch
this.
every single video.
Yeah, but this is a good topic because you got to wonder what's going on with the NBA
No,
and how this will impact the
I
draft.
think it's a good topic, but most of the subs didn't care about this topic. That's what I'm saying. This is really a bad stream, really. You know,
You should do the video on Derek Queen soon and potentially
yeah, he ain't no.
Jordan
I
Clarkson
think
and
he's more
Cooper
like Julius
Baywan.
Randle. Yeah, I'm still watching him. I want to watch more games, and he ain't Şengün though, man. Like Şengün's footwork is way better than Queen's.
Queen
Way
doesn't good footwork. Queen can get to the rim
not like
and he can
Şengün.
pass the ball, and he's got a little
Not like
mid-range
Şengün.
game,
Not
too.
like Şengün, man. Şengün's footwork is elite.
He'll wait till he catches up to Sengun and you say, "Oh my gosh, this Queen kid is right around Sengun's level in a few years." Watch.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll even do a video by video comparison, man. Like Şengün's footwork is insane. Like I've been trying to work on some of those moves that he do. I've been watching Şengün. I'm like, I said, damn, how does a 7-footer like really go from like left to right that quickly, man?
You got
It's not
Sengun fever,
basketball.
man. Hashtag
No,
Sengun fever.
listen, man. I respect the dude, man, because it's amazing that a 7-footer can like really handle the ball like that, man. Like I've been trying to work on a couple of his moves, man, and I'm like, damn. And sometimes I lose the ball, you know, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm 6 feet, and you know, kind of lower to the ground, and here's a 7-footer that has like insane ball handling and footwork. I'm like, wow.
We need to get one of those 7-footer centers eventually. Like, you know, we can't rely on skinny, quick guys on the court because they can't give you all those intangibles, consistent basis.
Well,
What are
Şengün was
you doing?
considered undersized too. He was only 240. That was one of the concerns about.
If we're comparing Clarkson to Sengun has a lot more of a Clarkson because Sengun ain't afraid to score at the rim on a consistent
No,
basis.
I'm saying like when he first, you know, that's why he was drafted so like in the teens because he wasn't your prototypical like center in terms of like mass, like weight, strength. You know, there was a development process there, but I mean, you know, credit Şengün. He got stronger and he's proven a lot of those. I would say proven wrong. He just worked on his weaknesses, you know, and
that's why I feel like trading Claxton and keeping Dayron is the best course of action because if we have 3 later first-round draft picks in next year's draft, we can pair those with one of our prospects to move up to get either Derek Queen or Common Maliwalk.
Yeah, if he can hit that shot with regularity, you know, he can come up, set screens. Let's say Joker's guarding him. Like he can get Cam Johnson or whoever you draft, into a switch, you know. And you know, most big guys is not going to want to guard like Dayron out there, man. They don't want to.
Dayron is such a great rebounder, and he's not afraid to take the 3-point shot. I'm glad that he's taking more 3-pointers.
He got to make it though, man. He got to make it.
A few. He's made more than Claxton has in his career, and Claxton's only I think made 2 or something, or his 4th.
Is it 5 o'clock? All right, let me get some sleep, man. Yeah, definitely. This has been a bad.
No, it hasn't. Stop undervaluing. When me Pete came on the show, you never put bad with content we produce, man.
No, man, like like it was really like the peak was 13 people, man. I was like, damn, this is bad.
Nah, I came on it and saved the bacon. You about to go to toe with Shaq and Charles with your cussery.
Yeah, man. This is
you like Shaq? Shut the fuck.
This is what happens when you listen to Harlem, man. All right. So listen, no more listening to Harlem at all. This is what happens when you listen to Harlem. You get a bad show, man. Like leave
the stream up and watch people comment on it.
Yeah,
you have any questions about this stream, leave some questions in the comment
I'll give it
board.
24
Because
hours, man.
BK is dying
I
to
think
hear
it
your
does like
feedback on this one.
I think it does like 150 views, man. That's the
Wow, BK. If I'm one thing, I'm not a guy that produces 150 views. I'm going for always top views. So do not
No,
attach
I
that to
mean,
me,
like I
my
said,
friend.
it's not me. It's just what people, you gotta make content with people for
No,
what.
this was a good topic because BK, people have been talking. I've talked on this with Gary Show and Dylan Show why the ratings are going down the tank. So this was a good topic to discuss because you wonder how this will impact the draft. Like this upcoming draft is huge, not just on a historical level, but resetting the NBA. The NBA has to be able to adjust to this new
If
era.
you want the NBA ratings to just get rid of Shaq, right? So, I'm not one for censorship. I hate that word, but like, damn, man, did we have to go to like communist China? Like, you gotta
Okay. I know you don't like
Jesus,
Shaq,
man,
but
like, damn.
I know
And
you
they
don't
just
like Shaq,
they
but
just
he's one of the greatest
lie.
centers of
I'm
all
like,
time, BK. You
trash
know.
players and like my generation, man, shut the fuck up, man. Damn. Oh,
Oh, you're definitely gonna get some comments about your Shaq dislike. I'm telling you, I expect
nah,
to
I
see
really
a
don't
Shaq
like that
commenter
dude,
too.
man.
Like,
Jesus.
I'm sorry to say, yo, BK, Shaq would bust you back in the day if you went
Yeah,
up
I know
against
he
him.
would. I know he would. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're supposed to be prop like what was that? What was that? Those guys on the Colin Cowherd. Nobody else does this. Nobody's tried. No, you don't see it in soccer. You don't see this in NFL, MLB, NHL. Only in the NBA, you got these guys literally trashing the game, man. And these people buy it because I mean buy into it because I know when I talk to people outside the show, I hear the same talking points. And I gotta explain to them why they actually have to shoot a lot of threes. Like Steph Curry, and you got Jaden McDaniels there. He has to be. He can't just take it to Jaden McDaniels and just lay the ball up, man. He's gonna get his
BK,
shot blocked. He has to shoot
I
threes.
understand why people don't like the 3-point shots so much being like a disparity of mid-range shots because they want to see fun competitive basketball. Because if you have a team that shoots horribly from the three, like they're what, like 8 for like 30, and they're down like 30, 40 points in like the first half, like the game's kind of over. The fans' excitement's kind of dead at that point. Like I understand why some fan bases are like, you know what? Why can't this be more of a gritty style game of basketball? Why does everybody always got to shoot the three
Well,
all the
I
damn
mean, that's
time?
that's the code. Look, we were down in one of these games too, man. You got to fight. You got to keep constantly fighting. You got to tell the team. You can't just like young players would normally get demoralized over things like that. Teams hit 8 or 9 threes, but they're not going to stay hot the whole game. Or, just try to
Right.
like look at the Toronto Raptors. They were hitting threes like crazy, and the Nets kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And Toronto actually cooled off. They were playing better defense, running those guys off the 3-point line, and eventually they actually won the game, man. So that
You know
a lot of
why?
that
Because the
coaching and
Raptors want a top draft pick. Apparently, Brooklyn doesn't. So get your crap
were
together,
you telling me
Brooklyn.
Toronto didn't want to win that game? You saying they just pulled the
BK,
plug on purpose?
we did their dirty work for them by us getting up in the
They
fourth
were
quarter. They
winning.
were down. But
They were
BK,
winning.
yeah, but BK, here's the thing. They just realized something. If they beat us, we actually get a top draft pick potentially. So why would they want to win when they were
But
already
most of these
down?
contracts, I mean, you got to look at whether these players can like contribute to winning, right? I mean, you got a reputation. What did we hear about Cam Thomas over the years? He doesn't contribute to winning, right? Bad analytics player, right? So these guys want to get wins to show that, hey, we're not a net negative on the floor, man, that we can actually contribute. Because like Cam Thomas is looking for another contract, man.
I understand, BK.
If he's labeled as a bad analytics guy, then I mean that's really going to kind of affect his bottom line there, man. So
I understand this, but this specifically an evaluation year, and the goals get a top 3 pick. That was the only real goals of the season besides individual growth, which you've seen. You've seen the growth from a lot of these guys under the Jordy tree. So I think everybody's kind of got everything they wanted so far this season. But now you're in the business part of basketball. Do you actually want to get a top pick, or do you want to get a mediocre pick and be like, okay, we'll just aim for the following draft? You got to aim for a top pick now because there ain't going to be another draft like this and potentially 2026 as well. That's why you got to cash in big, and you have to do that by putting yourself in the best position possible. Being in a play-in seed right now is so dangerous because we're not going to do what the Hawks did. We are just not going to do it. you're going to get the 8th and 9th pick, and that's going to be pointing when you could have took fate into your own hands and got in that top 5. So if you don't get in that top 5, I think that's a failure on Sean Mark's part, and he should own that.
All right. All right. Let me end this. I'm gonna be on tonight after the Utah game. I predict that they'll actually win that one. We're gonna look at Ben Simmons and Cam Johnson, and I think they may lose this game. We'll see.
Maybe Tyrese Ball will go for a 40-piece, and we don't. All right, fun
All right,
show,
man.
BK.
Good show tonight, man.
Well, have a good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. All right. Like, comment, share the show, and when you share, the universe shares back with you. Peace.